around. There we go. Okay. And then let's open it. Because we are amateurs. You guys, seriously. Okay.
Oh wow, you already got people in. You got 17 people in here.
Okay, alright. So let's set it up. Tighten it down.
These people.
Savannah.
Yeah, Oso's pretty loud.
It's not the thing I chose. Who are you doing?
No, this is when it was starting.
Oh, okay. Oh, whoa. Hold on.
It's lagging a bit.
No. Connection is bad.
It's okay.
Just turn off anything else, Savannah. You guys, that's enough.
Wow.
2 a.m. in the Netherlands.
All right, so let's move this. Get out of the way. Go. You guys quit messing around. Quit horsing around. Go away. Now. Okay. Okay. Is that good?
I can't tell if it's just like the quality of your computer in general or if the quality is just. Hold on.
No, it's the. I think they said the quality was bad.
Hold on.
But it has been
I
bad.
don't have it on the full.
It has been bad today. Quick. Taking off of the carpet.
Huh?
Also, is trying to take off of the carpet. Oh my gosh.
Savannah, they like your shirt.
All
Oh,
right.
I know. Yeah, I was like, I know what it's from. It's from a show. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we gonna do this?
Quality's
That's not
good.
too bad. I mean, it's
I
bad,
put
but
it
it's
on
not
the-
like
yeah,
the worst.
But I put it on the.
That won't matter.
I put it on the the quality.
It sucks about our internet. I don't know why our internet is bad right now.
No, it.
It is. It's bad right now. Our internet has just been bad today. I think that it's like.
They're saying.
Quality is so gritty.
They're saying it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Time for some pie. I'm gonna be making some pie.
Quality is decent.
Somebody said I love your hair to you, Mom.
Rachel,
thank
don't worry
you.
about it. We're good.
All right. I tried to adjust the antenna for our internet.
Mom's gonna cook some steak really quickly for dinner, and then I'm gonna make some.
Yeah, she's gonna make a pie, and I'm making dinner.
Preacher is coming home soon,
On the 13th.
but I'm pretty. Won't there be a video before that? A little bit.
There'll be a video before that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, not like a video, just like a normal video, but whenever you reunite Preacher and stuff. I don't know.
So, just a heads up to everybody that Preacher did champion. He is officially an AKC champion. For those that are not on our Facebook, now you know.
May have to make another sign about Preacher. Remember last time I made a sign saying Preacher will be back soon?
Yeah, I know.
He's a bit busy at the moment.
Yeah, that's also over there.
Midnight and Blondie yesterday night. I wish you would have gotten that video, but she was watching a video in her room with her speaker on. Wolves howling, and Midnight and Blondie started howling.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Yeah, I mean they were trying to it was like a let's find who this is kind of howling, like they were like barking too. And stuff.
Yeah,
You're
so
on it.
Oso was like getting schooled by both Blondie and Midnight right now.
They're over there playing around, messing with him. Also, lives matter.
Yeah.
Preacher. Are you gonna let me know if Preacher is a good time? Whoa, no, I don't worry that.
What? Watch out.
That's a good time. They said to slow down. What were they saying? They're always slow down.
So horrible.
Somebody said that they were stuck on the tree is still up. Yeah, the tree is still up. The tree is very much still up.
Yeah, the tree's still up. Okay, you can bring it back now.
I consider it just a decoration now. The tree is another day decoration.
I asked her to take it off, but she hasn't yet.
I like it.
How do people know that I'm filming?
Huh?
How do
I don't think they said anything about that in FP. I don't know, maybe not.
They said the cameraman.
Yeah, that's my nephew, Devin.
Devin, say hi.
He's helping
Say like
us.
hi from the other side of the camera. Oh, careful.
Alrighty then. Alright, so
Who said hey, nephew? What kind of pie is it? Well, I wanted to make a cherry pie, but she didn't like the cherries, so
I bought cherries, I just don't like them.
raspberry
Hey, get off me, little dude.
with
Rachel, your Facebook is just the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Senza Tempo Cane Corso.
and raspberries.
Hey, whoa, quit biting on me, little gremlin.
I'm pretty sure she is filming the reunion of her and Preacher.
Definitely, that is a much needed video. That will be done.
There we go.
Alright, here we go.
Sweet potato pie is good too.
So, very nice and hot.
Rachel, do you have an
Just
Instagram?
joking.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
have- But I have an Instagram too.
Since the tempo pie corso. It's all the same.
I know this is gonna be too hot. I always do it too hot.
So pie matters. Yes.
I'm all about burning my
Dude,
food.
everybody's saying that Oso lives matter.
What?
Everybody's saying Oso lives matter.
Yep, he does. There we are.
Josh says the tempo pie recipe. It's not our recipe.
People are asking where Velocity is.
Velocity is, she threw up earlier. She had an upset stomach, so I have her in the kennel because I don't want her throwing up in the house. So, yeah. Sometimes they get upset stomach every now and again.
Here, wait.
Let me get out,
So
go.
you can see what she's cooking. You just... Hold on, there's a dog.
Rachel,
No, back off. Yeah, read me questions and I'll answer them.
I need help with my 6.5-month-old puppy. He has growing problems. It's probably not a good time to ask.
Growing problems? Like he's too small? Like
Growling
he's-
problems.
Oh, growling problems. Oh. The best thing to do with a puppy like that is to just, let them know they're not allowed to disrespect you like that. So correct it. Hey. No, sir. So correct it. And then, gosh darn it. Where's the scissors at? Eat. Okay. He's a little bad dog. He's tearing up my carpet.
Savannah, they want you to make cookies.
Right.
Cookies. I made cookies last time.
Okay.
I'm making pie later. Eat on the live stream.
Alright, so like with him, when he growls at me, I discipline him by telling him verbally, like, hey, quit it. No, cut it out. You cut it out. And then he gives me kisses, and then I put him down, and I'm like, off with you. And I don't give him affection. Like, I don't come to him for affection after that. I make him come to me. And even then, if he was particularly grouchy, I'll make him wait for that affection. It's kind of like playing hard to get, but you're doing it with your dog.
Savannah, do you see any of these questions?
Quit messing up my carpet, boy! Quit messing up my carpet!
Ma,
What?
question. What do you do if you see a potential fight between two dogs? Do you step in and try to stop it before it starts, or let it happen in the owner's... hold on.
Oh, sorry, dogs. They're pushing the camera.
If the owners don't step in.
So the best thing to do is not to walk over and try to grab the dog, because oftentimes what will happen is that your dog will see that as a sign of support and may actually go on the attack. So the best thing to do is to verbally call your dog off before it gets to that point. That means that you need to be able to identify aggressive behavior before it gets to the point that your dog feels the need to defend themselves.
And how will Preacher treat Oso when he's coming home?
Oso, he'll put him in his place. Ouch, get off my foot. Get out of my kitchen now.
People keep on telling me I need to make you coffee.
You do need to make me coffee. Thank you. Thank you.
Cherry pie is coming after the steak Rachel has on the.
That's right.
More like raspberry.
So, yeah.
Put the chat on slow-mo. Sorry, I don't know how. That's kind of rude. But I don't know how. My mom doesn't know either.
Pop out. Property. Toggle. I bet you I need to go into like my creative studio.
Rachel, what do you screen for when looking for potential buyers? What's an absolute no-no?
Well, I don't really want to say that.
Yeah, I don't. Everybody asks that every time, and I never give that information out.
Because nobody can just change the information.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to be. Really, guys, quiet down. I don't want anybody to know what to say to me.
Everybody needs to be honest.
Nope, that's not it. All right, so I think I have to do it off of that one.
Already looked.
Go lay down. Go lay down, you bad dogs.
All right, guys.
All right, one
Trying to change
second.
stuff.
Enable flash, no. Share, no. Message, nope. I don't think we can now. I don't think I can slow it down now, unfortunately. I think I'm past that point. I've gone too far.
My 8-week puppy growls at every dog she sees. Sometimes barks. It took her 3 days to get used to my dogs. Now we're the best friends. That's not a question. I thought it was.
Yep, sometimes it takes a while to get used to them, especially depending upon how.
Rachel, someone bought your merch.
You got your leggings.
Got your leggings.
Oh, that's awesome! Yay, I'm excited. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna keep. I'll just be honest. I'm gonna keep working on that. Like I'm literally just using whatever it is that YouTube has partnered with, and they have prices already set up. So I'm not the one like deciding any of that, but I'm gonna look and see if there are better companies. And if there are, then I'll go with them. I did apply to some of the places, but I'm not a big channel yet, so I don't get, you know, I don't get the same benefits, I guess would be the word. Like whenever like the people that PewDiePie uses, I went on their site and like you have to like apply, but like they didn't even respond to my email. Hey! Little warrior, quit it!
Rachel, do you do have Bluetooth on?
What?
People are saying if we turn off Bluetooth, it'll make the quality better.
Okay, turn off Bluetooth.
Why is Bluetooth?
I always have Bluetooth on.
Your face is back.
What? Bluetooth.
Oh, wait, we're back. Sorry, my bad. Oof, yeah.
Very nice.
What was that?
Are we back?
Yeah.
I was
Oh
trying.
wow, that is better. Holy moly.
It is.
Mwah. Hey! You guys, leave that little baby alone.
Oh, Rachel,
$4.99.
What?
just got a donation.
Yeah. Where do I buy them? The merch. I think.
It's on Teespring. Ooh, who donated? Say thank you.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm talking about. They asked a question on where do I buy them?
Where do I buy the Jenny Boots? Thank you. They're on Teespring. They should be linked at the bottom of my last thing, but I also have them on my
Facebook.
on my Facebook.
Hold on.
They're on my Facebook.
Somebody put a link to it in the little comments.
Did you approve it?
Yeah, I did. Because it wasn't.
You guys, leave that puppy alone.
Rachel, what are your thoughts on German Shepherds?
It depends what German Shepherd it is, right?
So, come on, let me give me some tea. Sorry, I'm watching them. Okay, so the only thing that I'm not fond of with German Shepherds is their general energy level. They don't really relax. They like pace around your house panting. So when they're protecting, like you know they're protecting, they're running around, they're doing their thing. Well, it looks like it disconnected.
What?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Well, it looks like
$1.99 from Raven.
Oh, it did go.
Yeah.
What? No, it's not. She's blinking. I can see it moving. See?
Yeah. Can y'all see us?
Okay, I guess it is working. Weird. It was just this screen.
Here, let me get it.
Shay, thanks for
It is working. Weird. It was just this screen.
Here, let me get it.
Shay, thanks for your help.
Shay's nice.
Anyway, so the one thing, watch out for her. She's going around that cord. The one thing that I don't like is that the energy level's too high for me personally. I generally like a more chill dog. So the kind of Corso is a watchful dog, but you don't really know they're watching. You know.
And then every now and then, if somebody gets too close to your house, then they'll start to bark. Oh, it's gonna go off again.
Yeah, it's being a butt. I think it's my computer though, and not.
Yeah, they're good. Hey, Rachel,
Yeah, I think
Savannah,
they're
puppy
fine.
has been.
Okay,
So
Savannah, how do you want your steak,
Bloody?
and how do you want your steak, Devin?
You don't know?
You don't know?
Just medium rare.
Medium rare.
I want mine bloody.
I think yours is ready then, Savannah. You want to get a plate?
Full dirty. Candy's like, I want mine's raw.
Do you want to put get the veggie thing and put that together real quick while this rests? That's soak up all your juices. Cooking before my eyeballs. Really? You guys. Alright. I think that's going to be good for you. Can you hear him like running around like a wild maniac?
We got our air conditioner fixed.
Rayler,
Oh, yeah, I grew up with Rottweilers. I definitely like Rottweilers. For sure.
I'm gonna try it.
For sure. Yeah, I grew up with one named Cowboy. He's the one who taught me how to be respectful of dogs. Because I kept walking around chasing him. His name is Cowboy. I kept walking around and grabbing his nubby. No, his tail nub. And he was sick of my crap, and he turned around, and he was inches from my face, and he's like right in my face.
the Mexican, thank you.
And
Is
I
that
was
their
like,
name?
and
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I was like, we're good. I won't do that again.
Was Preacher an Italian?
And I never did it. Yeah,
An
aren't you gonna let this rest?
No. I'm hungry.
Yeah, put that together for me. Yeah, so anyway, so he taught me a good lesson. Luckily, my parents didn't freak out because he was totally not in the wrong. I was just pestering him and being a naughty little kid.
She always told me as a kid not to get in the dog's face.
Yeah, I did. That's right.
Savannah, people are saying let it rest.
I'm letting it rest by making the salad.
Someone's saying come out with a calendar.
Yeah, you want me?
Yeah, the site that I'm using doesn't have a calendar, but I'm thinking about maybe like I said, using a different merchant service so that I can
Adrian said, "Hello everyone.
$5.
Hope you're having a good night. What else are you cooking for dinner?"
Oh, salad.
We just got the steaks and the
Salad. And then I'm making a pie.
We're simple.
What's the best way to unlock a pit bull when he gets in a fight?
Huh? So, if you're in a house, the best way to break up a fight is to use a door to separate them. So like drag them over to a door and then put one dog on one side of the door and the other dog on the other side of the door and shut the door. We'll try to shut the door. Don't try to smash their face, but just put a little bit of pressure so it is uncomfortable. And then eventually they'll try to go in for another bite, another hold. And when they do, shut the door real quick before they can get another hold. And then you have them in different areas of the house. But you're still going to have to reintroduce them if you don't want them to keep fighting. You're going to have to literally take them by the collar and this is what I did. When my two big males got into a fight one time and I didn't want to have to worry about that, I took them into the house and I made them both lay in submissive posture, right in front of each other, right? Their heads right in front of each other. And they wanted to go for each other, but they just knew better. They knew that I was not to be messed with at that point. And so they kind of backed off and let it go. And then I did the buddy system. Like I don't know if you ever did, if you had siblings, but with us, we did. So, if you hated somebody or whatever, you were just with each other all the time. And that's what I did. I had one on this hand and one on this hand. And I walked them, and everywhere I went, they went together. If I couldn't supervise them, they were kenneled separately. But they did get over it. I made sure they understood they were gonna be friends whether they liked it or not. And they did. So they did not fight again either. That was my last dog that died, and another dog I had named Coda, and then another dog was named Terrible.
Terrible. It was great.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's a great. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna mix this together.
Rachel, do you know the Pitbull Hulk?
That's not a Pitbull.
I don't know him, but I know of him.
He's not a Pitbull.
He's not a Pitbull.
Massive.
He's what's called a band dog, which is a mix of large catch dogs. Typically for working purposes, although I will say that Hulk is not really built for working purposes, even though they try to make it seem like he is with the videos of him running around and doing stuff like that. Ultimately, the kinds of dogs that those are used for, or the work is usually for hog hunting, and a dog like that just isn't going to be, he's going to tire out so fast. He's so big, he's just going to get tired. The original Pitbull was like, what's that guy? What's that really famous, the really famous karate guy? Or maybe it was karate. Bruce Lee. Right? A real Pitbull is like Bruce Lee. And then like the Hulk is like all those big like wrestler type guys that get beat up in all those movies because they move slow.
You mean sumo wrestlers?
Rachel, Central Asian Shepherds.
So those are actually a very interesting breed. I have never seen one. Like I've never seen one in person. They're still very rare, even more. And what I find to be very interesting about them is that they are huge, like huge. And as far as I can tell, they don't really suffer from a lot of health issues. I don't see a lot of structural issues with them whenever I look at them. I don't know about their temperaments. I don't know, typically I'm not a shepherd fan, no matter what kind of shepherd it is. I usually don't like the shepherd personality. They have a higher temperament, higher drive than what I like. But definitely looked at those, and I
know, but somebody said something else.
It doesn't matter.
I don't understand where that was from. You're not 6.
Rachel, how to handle a Corso that grew up very social, dog aggressive and offensive.
Okay. So get down. All right, so I need to know. So I need to know more than that. I need to know, how old the dog is now and how old he was whenever he started having aggression. Was there some kind of thing that happened that caused the aggression? Like, was there a fight? Was there attack? Was there a move? Like, was there some type of trigger that you can think of that might have caused that? Did one of the pack members die? Like one of your family members, like the dogs, like did they die? Were they rehomed? Like all of these things can cause insecurity and then aggression. Yeah, if there's a bad person.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do I put? Go to channel before.
Yeah, go to channel. I think you block.
Rachel, do you think Oso acts dominant because he's the only male in the pack at the moment?
No, I think he's just a dominant puppy. I think it doesn't occur to him to quit. It does not occur to him to give in yet. It literally hasn't crossed his mind yet. He'll get there, but he ain't there yet. So.
Have you had it with fleas?
No. We only have summertime here. And even then, we really try to make sure that we keep a really good amount of nematodes out, and that helps to control the population. Perfect.
Do you think feisty little dogs can be trained to be not so bold?
Yes.
Some of them can. It just depends. There is a terrier temperament. There definitely is a terrier temperament. And they have not been bred to have a good temperament, so it's just one of those things, They've been bred to be cute.
Your phone's like dinging.
Is it my phone?
It's Facebook.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Also,
so, Devin, that's yours right there. You can eat that.
I'm not gonna worry about it.
Huh?
I'm not hungry.
You're not hungry.
Well, I won't worry about it.
All right.
Helping you.
Okay. Let me get the What we gonna eat, boy? Watch out. Let me get by. Come on now, y'all.
Yeah, sorry guys.
That's my dogs for you. Luckily, I have cat-like reflexes and was able to catch the phone.
Have you ever had a cat try to kill a chihuahua? Our cats are trying to do that after losing her bull mastiff.
Right.
She also picks
Keep
on
this
other
up here.
cats in our clinic. I've never seen a cat trying to beat up a dog.
Oh, I have. I've seen cats eat up dogs all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, I know mama cat.
Cats can be like gnarly. I'll tell you what. I'd rather go against a dog before a cat any day. I used to volunteer at the local animal shelter, and we had feral kittens that would come in. And we had these big, thick gloves that we would have to go and reach in there and get the cats out. And man, they'd piece you up, man, slice and dice. You don't want to mess with a cat. All right, next question.
Next question. Can you possibly train, no. Savannah, are you going to breed dogs when you're older? Don't know.
I hope so. I hope
No
she
bad.
takes over I hope she does it.
That's a maybe.
I have a female pit that I can't seem to get calmed down. She's too excited.
So with dogs like that, they have to practice being calm. So you have to take them, like what I would do is take a book or, download a movie on your phone, go to a park, somewhere where there's stuff going on, and just make your dog sit there and lay at your feet and not get up. And just read your book and do whatever you're going to do. And make that dog sit there and be calm. That's all you can do with dogs like that, is you just have to literally get them in the habit of being calm.
Savannah, what do you like the most about Blondie?
Everything. I love Blondie. Where's Blondie? Blondie!
You guys, quit.
Blondie, come here. Come on, baby. Come here, over here. Under here. Good girl. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. If you're asking why I chose Blondie, which I didn't really choose her. I chose her because me and her automatically have a connection. It's like
gave,
midnight.
yeah, I gave her Blondie, knowing that they would be good for each other.
And it was my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you know any of the Kennel Ground Haven Connie Corso?
Who?
Kennel Ground? Hey, get rid. He's not my slipper.
Go get it.
He's got my piano slipper.
Pineapple on pizza? You kidding me?
That's gross. Pineapple on pizza.
Do you think? Ooh.
I've actually had it once and it wasn't bad.
Steesley just donated $2. He's like, hey, Wyman.
There.
Whammon. That's a whammon.
What else?
Oh,
Do you know about Corso?
Yeah. We all do.
Maximum amount of dogs you're willing to own?
How many you ever you have a certain limit on how many.
The maximum amount of dogs that I will breed will be 11
Because that's the
until I move. Because that's
limit.
that's the limit for what's considered a commercial breeder in Texas.
Yorkies.
Yorkies can be pretty cool. I mean, I've seen a couple of them that were calm, cute.
What kind of food do you feed them? Cat? Chicken.
I don't have a cat anymore.
That's fine.
She took off. I am waiting on a new kitten, but I do like to feed my cats raw. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but if you feed your cat raw, they their litter box doesn't smell the same. It's not near as bad.
Yeah.
Not
We
even
will be
close.
getting another cat though.
What a good boy.
He's a good boy.
He uses his litter box.
His litter box. Dog using the litter box. He is. Which is good.
Rachel, what is a Warlock Doberman?
I don't know. Never heard of one.
Good question. Well, should be sold after you train him?
No.
We'll see how he turns out. If I want to use him in my breeding program, I'll keep him. If I don't, I'll train him and I'll sell him. It just depends. So
Rachel, the surprise. Shay's talking about a surprise.
oh, so
Surprise.
I'll tell you guys, because you're loyal fans. So I got access to a really, really, really great person who wanted to help me out with my breeding program, and so I'm gonna be getting a puppy. I'm not gonna tell you if it's male or female or anything like that yet, but I am gonna be going and picking up a puppy.
Somebody said Seneca Oso puppies, devil puppies. Yeah, that wouldn't be either.
How many times have you bred Casimir?
Twice. This is her second breeding.
When she's cooking? You're not cooking anymore.
No, we did.
Somebody said I bet it's a female. I mean, I will be cooking, but not right now.
Yeah, she's fixing to make a pie.
So, Anna, have you done any drawings on your tablet? I have.
Really? You have?
I have, but I'm getting used to it.
Who's the alpha? Casimir or Preacher?
That's a hard question.
Preacher. Cashmere likes to pretend, but when Preacher's not in the mood, it becomes very clear who the boss is. Let's just say that.
You, Angie K.
How are you gonna eat a pie crust and not eat your steak?
Yeah. Excuse me.
What? You say you were born in Texas? Are you sure about that?
Oh boy. You weren't even born in Texas, Mom.
Donald DeVelder
right.
just donated $10.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Donald. Did he have a question?
I love Blondie.
No.
I love Blondie more.
Yeah. We all love Blondie.
But I love her more.
Like, I'll be honest with you, even though she Even though her head type isn't the standard, and even though she's not as fast as Midnight, she is so sweet that, like, how could you not love her? Like, so sweet. Like, I don't know if you ever watch, what is it, the My Little Pony? She reminds me of Fluttershy. That's who she reminds me of. Velocity, quiet down.
Somebody asked me where my chair was. What are you talking about?
No, Rachel's
This-
chair.
Oh, your chair.
I don't need one.
What's the lifespan of Connie Corsos?
It depends. I've heard up to 13. Quiet down, Velocity.
They said Velocity is Pinkie Pie. I don't know about that.
Okay.
Well, you can do a vid from Zach with Documentary TV. No.
Would I do one?
Oh, no, they said will.
Will I? Probably not. I've actually, like, said some not so positive things about some of the people that have been on his show. So, I mean, I don't see why he would. Like, that Rough House Connie Corso guy, he's on there. I don't know if it's just a location thing or what, but
No.
that's not, like, if you're familiar with the Corso breeding world,
$5.
that's not the guy that would have been chosen.
$5 from Steelsy. Thoughts on Orvals?
Thoughts on Borbles? Thank you, by the way. You know, I was looking into getting them before I got the Corso, but I was pretty alarmed by all of the incidents where the dogs were involved with biting their owners. Now,
Yeah.
as many of you know, I'm not one to blame a dog, but I will say that it just made me wonder, like, if there was a temperament issue there. A lot of people were saying there was.
I'm floating.
You may need to redo yours.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I think the Cashmere is above Midnight.
So, what I do know is that
You guys go
there's a lot of shenanigans going on right now. Like,
You can tell them to go.
there are no blue Borbles. There's brindle, like regular brindle, not dilute, and there's fawn in red.
People don't know that. Civic
There
Edition-
shouldn't be, like, I've known some breeders that say there isn't even black. I know they got accepted, so whatever, but you shouldn't see blue. You shouldn't see any Rottweiler markings. You shouldn't. If you're seeing that, the person is not breeding Borbles.
And blue. It's just a diluted black. So if you have black in a dog, then you should be having blues in there
Yeah.
too, right?
It just goes to show that everyone said that those Borbles were Corso mixes, the black ones. And now, lo and behold, the same people breeding the black ones now have blue ones. And it's like, well, that makes sense because that comes from the Corso. You don't see dilute Borbles, except here in America.
Like Seneca, would she outdo Velocity though? Seneca does not live with us anymore.
Rachel's ranks are Preacher, Midnight, Cashmere, Blondie, and Velocity.
And Blondie and Velocity at a time. Nuh-uh. Velocity is lower than Blondie, right?
I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. I don't know that it's that finite.
How do you think that Oso is going to take to his daddy being home?
Go.
It'll be good to see.
It'll be a video.
It'll be good to see. He will know what it means to be respectful.
Hello, Rachel. What dog would you recommend for a family with small children?
Something like a I mean, the truth is, like, you can have whatever you want. It depends on, are you wanting to be involved, or do you want a dog that you don't have to do anything with? That is pretty much kid safe, which doesn't exist, but there are dogs that are are going to be more likely to be less of a problem. And so like Labradors, well-bred Labradors, like Golden Retrievers. There are some very sweet breeds.
Midnight, go away.
Like your what would it be like? Your Great Pyrenees is going to be a real sweet dog.
$10 from Xavier Martin.
Thank you.
Xavier?
So
Xavier.
you can look, but ultimately the guardians that are like not really known as protectors, like it's kind of hard to explain, but we're talking like guardian, like livestock guardians that are not for home protection, like they're not being used for bite work. Those kinds of dogs. No. Nope. Stop eating my carpet.
Stop eating my carpet.
Quit eating my carpet, boy.
Advice for a first-time Cane Corso owner.
No. Advice?
Ride them hard and ride them young. Otherwise, they're gonna get big and run all over you. Break them in when they're young. Don't be too nice. Don't be soft on them when they're young. Teach them the rules early, frequent. That way they know it. That way when they get to be an adult, it's not a problem. And you don't have a big, unruly child on your hands.
What are your breeds on livestock guardian breeds?
My
Thoughts.
views?
No, your
Your thoughts.
Your thoughts.
I like them. You need to work within the boundaries of them. So, for example, the Great Pyrenees cannot be off leash. So, they're going to take off. There are a couple breeds that are like that. Do you need to block someone?
No, they're just saying, can you give them the bone to your steak?
Mm-mm.
No, it's cooked. And there is no bone to it, but no.
Yeah, you don't want to give them cooked bone.
It can hurt them.
Mhm.
Don't give your dog cooked bones. And put them deep in the trash can if you're going to put them in the trash can. Because if you have a dog that will dig them out and they eat them, they can get hurt.
We're gonna have to find my shoe later because Oso took some. Oh, never mind.
He took it somewhere. Like a ferret. Oh, questions. How did Blondie and her two other siblings get their color? This litter didn't have any flaws.
Yeah, I know.
We had such a variety before.
I guess it was just the genetic match at that point. That's just what we got. I know that it runs in Preacher's lines to have those colors, so I actually wasn't surprised to see them. He has a brother that is also fawn, like Blondie. So it happens, but yeah, I mean,
And
we're
we had a red dog
surprised.
too. We had a red boy.
Mm-hmm. We had a
Kind
really
of
pretty
He
red
looked
dog.
fawn as a puppy. We thought we had 3 fawns, but we had 2 fawns and a red.
That is so good. It's not the best I've ever made.
Velocity.
Yeah, close.
Velocity. Casimir is Velocity's mom, right?
No,
No.
no.
Hmm.
Preacher's
No,
sister.
Velocity is off of a female named Roxy.
Which is Preacher's sister?
Mm-hmm. Preacher's sister.
Liver sister?
Mm-hmm.
Or separate?
It's called Belly Mate Sister.
What is she doing?
What are you doing, little
She's
dude?
in the trash can.
Rawr!
No.
There's a little pair.
Mukbang with Corsos.
Oh yeah, it's a mukbang with Corso.
Come on, guys. Go.
It's a mukbang with Corso's mom. You know what a mukbang is? It's where you eat in front of camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't actually like mukbang.
Ooh, any advice on trimming nails on a big male that doesn't like it?
We don't trim nails on our dogs. We take them on walks and it shaves down their nails as they walk. So there's really no advice for us on there. Right, Mama? Unless you're really like a
So,
meat.
the handler that I have Preacher at, she recently bought this thing. It's like a hammock.
Okay.
So you put it like the dogs.
$30.
Oh, sweet.
Or $3.
You're funny. So anyway, so they put it's like a hammock, right? And the dog hangs in the hammock, and the feet hang out, and then you can just Dremel the feet.
Well, there's a question.
Okay, what's
Can you
the question?
breed out the white marks on a black Corso?
You can breed, you know, if, yes, absolutely. Now, this is the thing. You could always focus in on breeding dogs with no white, but you're going to lose other things. Sometimes dogs that have the best structure may have some white on them. You may have to deal with that. So, you know, that's why people always say don't breed for color. You should never breed for any one trait. You should only breed for the best dog possible. That's it.
Yeah. Somebody said, how are you going to keep Preacher from wanting to breed with his daughters when they come into heat?
Well, we'll keep them separated. What are you doing?
How old is Hannah? I'm 13.
Ooh.
What?
I'll be 14.
Any advice on introducing a new puppy to a beagle that doesn't know boundaries?
New what, huh?
New beagle?
How old's the beagle?
We didn't know.
Okay, so, the first question you should ask yourself is, why would you want to introduce a new dog into an environment where you already don't have control over the resident dog? If you're going to do it anyway, then I guess hold on tight, because you can't control the dog, you know?
Are you going to breed Blondie?
I guess meet in a neutral environment, somewhere that's not the beagle's territory. And then when he gets too rambunctious and he jumps on him, correct him.
No, this person said, what do you breed, Blondie, and do you like the fawn color on the kind of Corsos?
We may breed Blondie, I don't know.
And fawn color.
If she passes her health certificates, we will. Like all of her health tests, we will. She does have this really, in my opinion, she has a really great temperament for like people to start off with the Corso. So we'll see. I don't know.
What a Yorkie try to dominate your common Corso? I wouldn't doubt
Probably.
it.
Yeah, probably. Most likely, yeah.
Small dog for you.
Who's the...
Small dogs can be insecure. That could cause them to try to be overly dominant. My mother used to call it the Mickey Rooney syndrome.
Nothing.
You linemen are making me crave a large piece of meat.
I'll be making a pie in a minute now. I mean, I'm done.
Yeah, bro. Are you gonna start? What?
Yes. What's your opinion on boxers?
I don't
Here's
really.
the questions.
I'm not very fond of boxers. I'll be honest with you. I've never liked the way they look. It's just personal preference. They have a very unique face and all that stuff, and in my opinion, it just gets kind of worse with age. So.
Yeah. What? What? Is my what?
Hey, get out.
Are they in
Yes.
my room?
Corsos can be banned in some places. That is something to look into. Okay. They're so good. All right, I'm done. Seriously, here, take that.
No more mukbang.
Love you, babe.
Look at this.
German short hair pointers. Lots of energy. Pretty cool dogs from what I've seen. My Alex's cousin has one or something. Really pretty. Cattle dog staffy mix. Ooh, I don't know. Could go either way.
Here, try this. It's good.
Alright, Rachel, I'm done with my stick.
You're good? Okay.
It's like the cattle dog energy and working temperament mixed with a staffy drive. Whew, I don't know.
Wait, why is Osen on the kennel and why is he acting like he's stuck in there? He put himself in
Giant
the kennel.
schnauzer? No, I like those. If it wasn't for the hair on the face, I would totally have a giant schnauzer. But of the hairy face.
Alright, I gotta figure out how to make
Thank you, Jake. No breed Sorry, I didn't see it.
I'm gonna need some stuff.
Raised chickens, critter problem. Ooh, I don't know.
Can you grab the baking powder out of that? It should be in like a blue bag.
Savannah, you were better at doing the questions.
Well, if you want to see a question, wait, no, not that one. There's another one. Here, it's in yellow. I can get it.
Would I import? Yeah, I would. End up importing actually.
Right here. Got it.
Let's see here. Can you train a 6-year-old Rottweiler mix that has no training at all? He seems to listen, but is also naughty. You can definitely train him. You're just gonna have to work with him. You know, you're gonna have to be kind of. He's an older dog, so you're gonna want to be careful and not kind of overstep your boundaries.
You can get a mixer.
What?
You can get a mixer. I can still do this, but you can get a mixer. You're making it harder on me. I thought you loved me.
Thoughts on Dobermans?
Love Dobermans. Awesome dogs. Will I breed Seneca and Oso? I don't know. I like bull mastiffs, but they're more of a like a pet temperament. As far as I know, I haven't seen many of them that still have what I would consider to be like a traditional like protection temperament. Thank you, Adrian. How often do I wash my dogs? Not very often. Only whenever it's necessary. I don't want to dry out their skin and stuff like that. So,
There should be a small bag.
let's see here.
You know you can click on the screen right now. You can click on the screen too.
Will you film Future when he comes home?
Yes, I'm going to be taking Mystery Man with me so that we can
Mystery Man. They're not allowed to know the mystery.
so that we can drive to Maryland together so he can video our reunion. I miss him so much. I miss Preacher so much.
I'll be watching.
Seneca's at Alex's house. Bring me some more of that, please.
What was that sound?
I don't know, but bring me some more of that.
Why do you think I was eating this so much?
I know, it's so good. All I did is take a pie crust and then I drizzled maple syrup on it.
Is that what?
And then I cooked it, and that's what it is.
You just take this to Christmas next year and be like, this is like peppermint bark.
So good. No, not gonna get back with Alex.
No.
No, I don't FaceTime with Preacher. It would just hurt his feelings. Thank you, Sarah. Let's see. Advice on handling a very submissive, insecure Kelpie. Gets into trouble when she can, doesn't learn from the mistakes.
The what?
Butter.
Personally, what I would do with a dog like that
It's
is I would leash them. Like when you have an insecure dog that makes mistakes, oftentimes they can't even control themselves. So you almost need to like put them on a leash and kind of like control them for them and then teach them how to be again and then slowly but surely give them a little bit of freedom and let them earn it back as time goes by. That's what I would do.
You just got 2 more donations.
What?
Did you miss those?
I did,
I've
yeah.
seen this. She hasn't gone down yet.
I have to pause on the questions,
Okay.
otherwise I get distracted.
Sugar.
Thank you,
You
KBDDB.
eggs and
We have eggs.
ice. Ice is in there. Eggs.
Oh, thank you. I do need help with my fence. They sold both neighbors. They sold both plots of land right by me now. They're supposed to be here in like April.
Here, let me get the eggs.
The guy came over and asked me how I trenched my electricity thing. And I was freaking out. My heart dropped because we let them run, but we're not going to be able to do that. We need fence. So yeah,
They even went on
thank
that
you.
property at first. Oh, go take this.
Yes, this is all gluten free. We're celiacs. We can't eat gluten.
Looks so nice. Yeah,
Ideal pack. Don't have dogs right now. 2 Dobermans, a duck toller, a German long-haired pointer. How in the world would I make sure they get along? Wood crick. That's burnt.
You like burn.
I don't know about that. I hate.
Have you ever considered Doberman pinchers?
Let me answer this question. Oh no.
Look at that.
burnt gluten-free stuff. You can do burnt gluten. You can't do burnt gluten-free. Oh, so bad. Okay. So I would do, if you're willing to do 2 breeds, I would always do 2 breeds, because even though all breeds of dogs are dogs, there are breed characteristics that makes it easier for them to sometimes coexist with each other than it is for them to be with other breeds. Having said that, getting like-minded temperaments is going to be ideal. So I would probably, if it was me, I've never had a duck toller. I think it's toller. Like, that's the one that goes down on the beach and it runs and uses its tail right to. I think I remember reading about them, but you know, I would crate my dogs when I'm not home anyway. Period, just because it's safer. But
There's some dogs that
I would probably go with like Dobermans and maybe the long hair pointer, something like that, maybe. Just personally. Okay. How about them Cowboys?
What?
Dallas Cowboys.
Rachel?
Playoffs.
Oh. I think Tally went to the game. I think Tally went to the game.
She went to a game.
Yeah, my mom goes and sees the Cowboys
Yeah, she went with them.
every Thanksgiving. She goes and sees them. I would not have a Siberian Husky. No part of me would ever have a Husky.
No.
That energy level, woo, not for me. I need a calm dog, a chill dog. How do you train older 2-year-old dog to stop being dog aggressive, or is it too late? You can train them, but what you're gonna have to do, hook me up with some tea. Please and thank you. What you have to do is, when you're correcting a behavior, you always want to correct the very slightest source of the behavior. So for example, if I have a dog aggressive dog and I'm walking down the street with this dog, the second that dog looks over, if I know he gets aggressive every time, I'm going to correct him. And this is why. When I have a dog like that, no matter what, if I'm training a puppy, whatever it is, when we're doing our obedience, when we're walking, your only attention needs to be on me, and that's it. You need to be on this walk. Anything going on outside is I always tell them, none of your business. And I'll do a correction, none of your business, walk forward, right? And I will always make sure that they keep their head forward until they can be trusted to look outside, right? Because when you let a dog look around like that, it's possible distraction. You never know how they're going to react to it. So until you know for sure, and you have a dog like, for example, like Cashmere used to be that way. When I would walk her, she would walk around prancing, just mad dogging everyone. Anytime she would look at a dog, she would look at him like, "Urgh," like every time. And so I was like, you know what? You're going to act like that? You don't get to look at people. And I would just give her a leash correction every time, make her walk forward, make her head forward, not let her look. It seems extreme, but that's how you fix that kind of aggression. You show them from a very early on stage. If you don't have the right energy, you don't get to engage, even in a visual interaction with another dog, period.
Savannah, get a bowl.
That's not good.
Okay.
What are you doing? Are you making it in a cup like that?
No,
Please tell me
I'm
you're
just
not.
saying that's just iced water.
Okay.
How to improve recall on an older dog. He has some obedience training, but owners didn't practice raising voice. Does not influence them. Intimidate.
Yeah, you read me questions.
He does not. He does well at home, but in public he goes deaf.
So that is an issue of of obedience, and you're gonna have to practice with him, kind of in areas where, like what I like to do with an older dog like that is maybe take him somewhere where they can't get. He's chewing on that. Can you get that? Maybe hand him to me.
Get your hand.
Oh, take him somewhere where they can't get away. Maybe take a day off work and go to a park when there's like no one around, so that you can, kind of practice on having like nothing around you to keep him in, and then when he doesn't come, you get onto him. You're gonna have to put him in submissive posture. You're gonna have to, when he gets up, then you call him over to you right here, right here. That's what I always do with mine, is I make them walk up to me and join up right here to my side. And I'm like, good boy. And then we walk forward. And if they don't walk, I stop immediately. Get right over here, right here. I want you right here. And so it is a communication with the dog to let them know, I want you to be here, not with a leash, with just my voice. And if they try to walk away, bam, back down into submissive posture again, until they get the message.
All right. So $10 from JC.
Thank you, JC.
We have a 150-pound 1-year boar bull intact. He started growling at female house dog when they're lying together, and he's actually growled at us. How do you handle your own dog growling at you?
So,
Like
okay,
that.
so that's a tough one. What I like to be able to do for these almost is like have people be able to like call me, because there's so many times when people ask me questions, I need more information than that. And it would be really awesome if I could just sit and kind of talk, because I do it anyway. So maybe we'll do something like that. Let me know in the comment section if that would be something you guys would want to do. You're welcome, World of Press Canario. So,
E-colors?
the thing is like, it depends on why the dog is, like, a growl is a dog's way of communicating that they don't like something you're doing, something that you or something that someone else is doing. And what it means is that dog thinks that it has the right to tell you what to do, okay? And that means that there's an issue of respect between the two of you, okay? Creature does not growl at me, period, end of story. He'll growl at, ow, you little butt, get over here. How are you gonna just get my foot like that? No.
Creature will growl at me.
No.
Rachel.
And so anyway, I would work on obedience with that dog. I would really work on getting out there and doing some obedience and really teaching him who's who in the household. And
Have you seen the measuring tool in the cold cup?
huh?
Like the cup and stuff?
Rachel,
Don't you bite me. No.
for like the Q&As, you could do a Patreon type thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that, but okay, I'll try.
Someone was talking about Doggo Argentinos.
Dogo Argentina.
Doggo.
So that is an Argentine hog hunting dog. It's a catch dog that was meant to be easily seen in the forests, which is why they're white, and also to work well together, which isn't always common with catch dogs. A lot of catch dogs have been bred to fight each other whenever the sports that they were originally used for kind of became less popular. And so a lot of them were used for fighting. And so that has affected their ability to work together all the time. So the Dogo was, from my understanding, supposed to be the kind of communal hunting dog where they work together. Yeah, so that's what I know about them.
People are eating Oso up. They love him. Are you gonna make it? we're making. Savannah's making cherry pie.
I'm making blackberry pie. Blackberry pie! Black everything!
Thoughts on Burmese
Anyone here?
mountain dog?
Oh, they're beautiful. I think they're beautiful. I think they're really good dogs. I would have one. I looked at having them, but because I live in Texas, it's too hot.
Yeah,
But I
they're
would
keeping
have one.
Oso.
In a Newfoundland, I would have one of those in a heartbeat.
You guys love Oso too much for us to even get rid of him. Not that we would want
Was
to.
Preacher that size when he was that? Was Preacher that size when he was?
That is-
No, I feel like I'm pretty sure that he was smaller, being an Italian dog. Don't you bite my clothes.
Sarah Jane, what do you do about a dog that runs up to you wanting affection when you start to pat them growl at you?
What? Say again? What do you do about a dog that runs up to you wanting affection, but when you start to pat them, they growl at you? That sounds like a very weak temperament. I would ignore that dog. I would literally ignore them. And then when you do, like, so if they come over to you, what you can do for a while, like if they keep kind of, a lot of times dogs that'll do that, they'll kind of sit next to you and they kind of look up at you and then they kind of push themselves back up at you and they do this whole thing. And so what you can do, if you really have to pet the dog, is you can, when you reach down to pet the dog, do not make eye contact. Just gently kind of take the backside of your hand like this and just kind of reach it down and let them smell it, let them lick it maybe, and then go right back up again. And with a dog like that, and what you're doing is you're making them work for the affection. All the affection they're having to really work very hard for. It's not you going to him, you pressuring him. He's having to work for every little touch that he gets. And that will oftentimes kind of, it won't fix the issue, but it can, and that dog have a better trusting relationship. Next question.
Hey!
All right.
Course meal.
Would you get into in between Oso and Preacher if Preacher got a little too aggressive with discipline?
Preacher's not a biter. He doesn't discipline through biting. Preacher is the
Mouth you like Cashmere does.
No.
Not you, but
no, he doesn't. Preacher's the type to roll you up in a ball and hold you there.
But I've seen him do it with like Midnight and Blondie, where he'll like mouth them right here on the snout, or he'll do what Cashmere does.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, sometimes he'll do a little like muzzle mouthing, but honestly, like it's not like her. He'd rather like literally roll you up in a ball and hold you there, growling at your face.
Rachel, what do you think about e-collars for training?
I don't have a problem with them so long as they're used responsibly. A lot of people do, but I think that they really don't recognize that there are all kinds of people in the world. So you have the elderly that don't have the physical strength to do that kind of stuff. You've got people that have dogs that, for example, there are some dogs that will be extremely, they will really take advantage of the length of distance between you and whatever it is that they're doing wrong. And so sometimes you really need to be able to kind of reach out and touch them from farther away. Now, I haven't had to do that, but that's just me, you know what I mean? Like, as you guys have seen my videos, like I have no problem like hollering at my dog from across the field at a dog park. And I have a loud, very, hey! I have a voice that carries.
That's scary.
So it's easier for me to do. And my dogs know me, like they know, like when they hear that tone. But
she wants to be scary.
But not everyone's like that, and you have to work within the realms of everyone. You know, like the question becomes: is it worse for the dog to have an e-collar used on it, or is it worse for that dog to be completely homed and sent to a different home, and maybe even like passed around to a bunch of homes because that particular dog has a temperament that maybe only somebody like me or like a really kind of tough person can handle, and maybe that person hasn't came around yet. So I don't know. I don't know what's,
people like that don't.
I want what's best for the dog, and I don't want. And if it's not going to hurt the dog, then I'm fine with it. I know that there's a lot of propaganda about burns and things like that, but truthfully, I have never seen that to be the case. I haven't. So,
Right.
But I also have never used one personally because I haven't had to.
Yeah. So Phantom Ghost says my dog when she sees another dog, she stays still with her hairs up and whimpers.
Quiet down.
Do you think she's dog aggressive?
Okay. What was that again?
My dog, when she sees another dog, she stays still with her hairs up and whimpers.
Right.
Do you think she's dog aggressive?
So that's a sign of excitement. It could be it could be aggression. It could just be excitement. There's really no telling. A lot of people, whenever Pitbulls get into a fight, and they're always like, well, I thought he was happy because his tail was wagging.
Quiet.
And the thing is that Pitbulls are very excited when they fight, so they will wag their tails.
Hey, his sister in the face.
Little hoodlum.
Me?
This one.
No, we're doing it.
You. All right.
Right. What do you think of Caesar Milan?
It's cool.
Love him. Didn't somebody? We need to say thank you, Jacqueline Gomez.
Jacqueline?
Jacqueline, yeah.
My bad.
And then Rose Thorne
I'm texting.
for $1.
Thank you, Rose Thorne. Are you gonna behave?
Do you like cattle dogs,
Mm.
Rachel?
Yeah, I think they're cool. I've actually seen a bunch of them here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most of the ones that I've met actually worked on farms, like they were out all the time. But yeah, I think they're good. They have a lot of energy. They're working dogs. Will I keep first pick male now that Oso is here? It just depends. I probably will. I don't know. I don't know. He's a really nice pup, so it's really hard to know. But I don't want to just give it up without knowing because, like, I really want a first pick male. And
Like, even
honestly,
the first pick-
even though this puppy is beautiful and he's got great structure and he's got all this stuff, Baby Bear was just as nice, and much bigger. So.
Hey, size doesn't always matter, He could have had bad structure. I mean, he doesn't, but he could have had bad structure. And he
Say if you're not first, you're last.
So
You're
Rose
first or last.
Rose wanted to ask, do you think Oso will submit to Preacher when he gets back since he's not submitting to Casimir?
I think he will. I do. I think he will. I think that he'll recognize it like he does with me. He doesn't sass me. Like, you see how I'm like treating him like a baby doll? Like, I can put my face in his face and I can do whatever I want with this dog because he knows better than to sass me anymore. And so he'll know better than to sass Preacher. And that's the thing, is every dog knows how far they can push it with that individual.
Jens, thank you. What do you think about American Bulldogs and how do they differ from Cane
Thank you,
Corsos?
Jens.
That's what he just said.
Jens. What do you think about American Bulldogs? How do they differ from Cane Corso? American Bulldogs. So, I would say that the thing that I like the most about the Corso is they have this kind of like coolness to them. It's like, do you remember that movie? Do you remember that movie? What is that one with the Mr. Pink?
What? Are you talking about Pink Panther?
No, with Mr. Pink and Mr. Purple. Reservoir Dogs. The guy that
Homeward Bound?
he did the song in it and he's
Reservoir Dogs.
yeah, and he does the thing to the cop's ear. That guy is like, I think he was Mr. Purple, maybe he's Mr. White. I don't remember. That guy was like cool as a cucumber, right? Like
Stop it.
chill, but yet he was a maniac, right? That's how Cane Corso is. The Cane Corso is like a gentleman, but really like Bond, like when they're well trained, like mine, they're chill and they don't come off as like super aggressive or anything. And yet, if you do something wrong, you will see another side of them that you didn't even. And I love that about them. Really love that about them. It's kind of like driving a sleeper car with a huge engine in it and everybody underestimates it. It's like that. Whereas the American Bulldog is a very proud, very alert. They just don't have that kind of cool, kind of chillness to them. Like, they're very intense, kind of alert. Even like Old English Bulldogs are like that. Like, they will oftentimes like alert to like a pit where they like do the stance and they look and they're real intense and they're the kind of Corsos. I don't know. They're just a little bit more than that. So. Let me see here.
Do you like uncropped Corsos?
Personally, I don't. I prefer the cropped look, but that's just my personal opinion. I think that the dogs really have the same look, especially like when they lack type. Some of them can end up looking like Labradors. Thank you, Rosethorn.
So will you keep the first pick Moso?
See,
Just asking that, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they asked me that. We'll see.
Can you train a small dog breed the same way as a Cane Corso?
can you train a small breed the same way you can as a Cane Corso?
Is it a lot too probably?
I don't know. I mean, probably not. Like, a Cane Corso has just a different temperament in general than a small dog. The small dogs have a very short attention span, and that can actually affect the training for them in a big way.
Thank you, Sleepy.
Thank you, Sleepy.
How-
It's a flaky crust.
So it's allowed to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it says until it comes into a ball, until it's able to come into a ball, which it's able to go into a ball, but if
Just
you
keep
switch
mixing,
it,
bro.
it'll.
So,
Dude, look at this. I can see all this flour. Your mixing is weak.
Rachel,
What?
Rose has one more question.
Uh-huh.
How many more litters do you want Cashmere to have? And will there be a point in where you will let one of the younger females take over breeding?
Yeah. I usually retire my females at around anywhere between 4 and 6 years on how the female is doing, and what kind of pups she's producing. Ultimately, usually around 4 years old, though, if I'm being honest. A female would have to be really superior for me to want to breed till 6 years old.
Right. Thoughts on it?
So we met last time I went to the dog park. There was an Akita that tried to beat up Midnight, and so every time I see them, they're always like really dominant, very dominant, they're basically like supersized huskies every time I see them. Not saying that that's how they are. I'm just saying that that's been my experience. I felt comfortable around an Akita that I've seen so far. I have not met one that I felt like I could pet comfortably or safely, because the owners didn't have control over them. And so, like, this one was running around at the dog park, like, ready to just, wreck shop on everybody, and the owner was sitting there on his phone. So I'm not blaming the breed. It very well could be the people owning them, but I do think that it's quite odd that of all of them that I've seen, and I have seen quite a few, not one of them had just a submissive temperament in general, like just that temperament. I have not seen that yet. So they're beautiful, they're huge, but I just haven't seen it yet. Other than being big, there hasn't been anything, and pretty, there hasn't been anything about them yet that has made me want to own one.
Thank you, Maddie.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
your
Maddie.
content. Will your retired males become your family dogs after retiring them?
Quit.
So after Cashmere's done breeding, will you still keep her?
It depends on the individual dog. So I will probably keep Cashmere unless, like, Alex wants her. And the only reason I say that is because Cashmere, anyone who's ever met her in person knows this. Cashmere loves men, not women. She loves men. We have a nickname for her that I will not put on here, but suffice it to say that it's about that. There you go. See, it's working. So anyway, so we want what's best for the dog. So if in fact, like for example, Midnight won't go anywhere because Midnight is attached to me in a way that it would hurt her to go somewhere else. Whereas Cashmere would probably be happier with Alex than she would with me. So that's really what it boils down to.
Ruby,
Thank you, Ruby.
thank you. Want to get a 3-year-old?
A friend.
Want a 3-year-old? Want to get a friend from a 3?
Should I go male or female? He is a submissive goofball. I would get a female. I would. It's just going to be better for him. You get a male, and you run the risk of there possibly being a problem. It's just better to just have a male and a female if you can.
Thank you, Miss Fango.
Thank you, Miss Fanga. Appreciate that.
Makes 9 pie crusts.
What?
Didn't want to make 9 pie crusts.
Savannah, are you sure? That it's 9 or 9 inches?
9. 9. It tells you on the top of the yellow letters.
No, honey.
9.
Makes 1 9-inch pie crust.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's not going to go in here.
Rachel?
All this isn't going to go in there.
If your dog got in a fight at the dog park dog park with a pit bull, how would you break up the fight?
Depends on what's going on. So if the person that has the pit bull is willing to grab their dog, then you grab your dog's back legs, they grab their dog's back legs, you back up, you wait till they go for another grab, and then you release them. If that isn't going to work, honestly, like, I'm not above just picking up my dog, the person pick them up and carrying them over to where the fence is, and literally using the fence as a separator. But you got to do what you got to do to get them apart. Ultimately, if you can't get one of the dogs, if you can't get one of the dogs' mouths open, you can always grab a stick and try to pry it open, which you may need to do. It's required by law in many places with pit bulls. It's called a break stick, and it allows you to pry open the jaws.
Jack forever.
Thank you, Canada Low.
Do all your females go into heat at the same time? Do you put them in diapers?
No, I keep them kenneled when they're on their menstrual. It's just because they can get aggressive. Did you see a question from Susan Ford?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
My next litter is in the spring. They'll be born in June of this year. Susan Jones. I was attacked by a pit bull. Yeah, I've been bitten by pit bulls too.
Have you ever fed cooked turkey to your dogs?
French bullies.
Cooked turkey?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I've never heard of a French bully.
All right.
Mom, have you ever fed your dog cooked turkey?
I'm sure we have, but I prefer raw.
So,
So dry. I hate how
my
dry
bro,
it is. So, like,
my son wants to breed his male Cane Corso. Can you tell me what pre-testing he needs? My only concern is that I'm not sure what his ratio to height to length should be.
For what?
Breeding.
For what
For
breed?
a Cane Corso.
Oh, Cane Corso. So it's not really a ratio, but you do want to make sure that you want to go get their health testing done, and you want to look at the standard, and you want to say, look and see, does my dog match this standard? Does my dog match this requirement? And if it does, then you know that it does. Hey, you guys, stop now. Midnight? No. You keep horse playing, and then it gets too serious. Blondie. No.
So can a dog? See, she even shuts me up.
Come here.
no, she's just talking about the.
Bite your face.
Can a dog be too socialized? I know a friend that has a Cane Corso. The big boy is really friendly, but has been worried that it's not as intense as my dog.
As intense?
Yeah.
Like as in like protective and such? I don't think like a real kind of Corso would
Get off me.
abandon
Get off
their
me.
natural protection.
Get off me.
Like a dog may be really friendly, but a Cane Corso is never gonna really abandon their protection for their owner. I think.
What's the question?
If the dog can be too friendly or too socialized.
No, I don't think
Because they
so.
said they were scared that their dog wasn't like protective enough.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, Preacher's very, very well socialized, but he's still very protective.
Henry,
You guys, don't compete over my love. Go away.
Henry, thank you. He's looking for a Borble.
A Borble? We don't know.
Coonmore, Coomore. Check that guy out.
Dog doesn't understand boundaries when it comes to other dogs. Sometimes annoys the other dogs. How can I correct her when she doesn't listen to commands off leash?
You're gonna have to start working on them. You're gonna have to get out there and start practicing, and you're gonna have to take the time to do, bona fide practicing time. Like 15 minutes a day of going out and training. That's what it's gonna take.
Erica, she doesn't like boxers.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of boxers. I mean, I get people like them. It's a dog, and dogs can be lovely. But if you're asking my opinion on whether or not I would want one, no, I would not want a boxer.
recommend for calm apartment living?
Calm apartment living. A greyhound.
Hey, quit it.
Or a like a English mastiff maybe.
That's a big small dogs.
Hey, you guys.
Well, small dogs are hard to take.
Tamika, thank you.
So if
Which is easier, male or female?
If you're a woman, get a male dog. If you're a man, get a female dog.
Hey,
You stop, little dude.
Cashmere's messing with them.
Little dude.
all right, we're gonna go look. Yeah, Shay, it's gluten free.
Hey,
It is good.
Let's go see what's going on.
get over here. Come on. Come on.
He's like, nah, man.
Come on.
Cashmere's like, oh, you got him out, but I can't.
You better chill out.
You know how hard this is today?
You ate all my pie crust?
Not me. I ate some of it.
They beating up on you?
All right. Do you think ooh, Sreda, help me correct my 3-year-old Shih Tzu. He's very aggressive towards other dogs when walking.
So, same thing as before. You just want to make sure that you correct the behavior before it really begins. So, if your dog can't handle eye contact without getting aggressive, then do that dog look at that person or that look at that other dog. You make them ignore it, right? You always want to try to correct it as the behavior started. Like the second you see it starting, you want to correct it. And sometimes people don't recognize when that is, but they can't get aggressive if they can't even look at what it is. So basically think of it this way, like the dog looks over, he sees it, he sees it and then he sees it and then he decides, okay, well I don't like this dog or whatever, right? I don't like this dog, and then so he's gonna start kind of fixating, what we call fixating,
Hey, get out!
which is a really heavy stare, eyes forward, ears forward, hackles up, and you should be correcting before that. As soon as you start to see, when the dog looks over and then they get that intense look in their eye and they start to stare, you should correct right then. Make them stop looking at it. Make them turn that energy around.
All right. So we've got a question that's been asked a little bit. Thank you, CJ, for bringing it up. Presa Canarios.
Yeah. So Presa, they're a lot like the they're kind
Thank
of
you,
like,
Victoria.
thank you, Vicky. They remind me of like a mix of a Corso mixed with like a Pitbull. Like you get that hot temperament, like a game dog type temperament, and so they can be hot or spicy. Hey, level 3 habaneros.
All right.
Use unsalted butter, but there's no such thing as
Rottweilers. So Victoria was asking, Rottweilers' bite per pound is stronger than Pitbulls. What are your thoughts on wolf hybrids? Are wolf pack structures the same as domestic packs?
No, they're definitely not the same. We have an artificial pack. We do not allow them we don't allow them to do what they would normally want to do, because that would mean beating each other up and getting lots of like scars and stuff like that. And I don't and that, so we don't let them fight. So it's an artificial pack.
All right. Do your dogs get flaky skin on their rump during the summer? If so, what is the best food to help with that?
Yeah. So when the temperatures change, whether it goes from hot to cold or cold to hot, you're gonna get that skin kind of freaks out, really. And so when that happens, I always give my dogs a bath, and then I give them a nice coating of coconut oil, and I leave it at that.
It's like dandruff.
So, what do you think of Bouviers?
Bouvier? I've met a couple of them. They seem no. They seem like good dogs. Midnight trying to be possessive.
So, who will be your next breeding? Casimir and Preacher Pups, or Velocity and her Mystery Man?
It'll be Casimir and Preacher, and then we'll do Velocity and whatever man we get for her, and then it'll be Midnight and whoever we get for her, and possibly Blondie.
Get for her.
All right. How do you overcorrect an aroused, dominant pit when playing and seeing other dogs? We avoid the park because of the over-arousal.
Over-arousal probably means it probably mean humping, dominance. So you know, I mean, with pit bulls, you may be able to correct it, you may not. It just depends how old the dog is, how long you're doing it, what your energy's like.
Patricia, thank you.
Yeah, it just depends.
My cherry pie donation. And JC says, "What is your opinion of Borbles?"
Yeah, I said that earlier. If you'll just rewatch for a while or whatever, but it basically, I would go out of my way to go see the dogs. I would want to make sure they have good temperaments. Hopefully the pair has been bred before. Maybe you could talk to past customers. Like, just make sure that you're getting a solid temperament and good, solid structure. You want to make sure they're health tested, things like that.
What are you doing? Galloping across the floor. Dude, this stuff is hard to do. You know that?
So, Jennifer Bamford
Don't touch it.
says, "What do you think of Newfoundland dogs, and where can I find your PO box?"
Stop it. Don't
So,
look at it.
Newfoundland dogs?
Stop looking at it like that. No. Go away. Go answer your questions.
Oh, sorry, honey.
Newfoundland dogs?
I think they're great. Yeah, I like them. If we lived where it was not, hot, I would have one.
Was that Mystery Man?
But I'd probably also have a Caucasian overchalk guy.
And my phone died.
Jacqueline's asking, can you recommend a Connie Corso breed in Virginia or Maryland? Also, do you offer training to your puppy buyers?
What was the question?
Connie Corso breeder in Virginia or Maryland?
I made that.
I like that she puts it right in my face.
Don't look at her. Look at my pie crust.
Pretty sure she did that last time with the cookies. Are you really gonna be serious about that? You don't look like you're very serious about it right now.
Savannah, put it in the oven. It's good.
It's good. It'll work. Do it.
People like it.
People like it. It's homemade, Savannah. That's all that matters.
It was made with love.
Brianna, I'm really trying. It's hard.
What?
She's like, I'm the focus.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll
so...
go to 9 to 10 circle. I didn't roll it.
Ooh, thank you, Shelby.
Can you give any advice on introducing a new puppy to 2 indoor cats? I'm ready to get a puppy, but I'm still
I feel
worried.
like I should shut this because
I'm
it's using internet.
So worried my cats won't get along with it.
Shut it.
How I introduce dogs and cats, I to
I have to go to the bathroom. We're gonna get through.
like I let them kind of hang out together, and then if the dog gets too aggressive, like starts to kind of jump on the cat, I'll correct the dog. Now sometimes people will say, "Oh, we'll just let the cat do it," but the truth is, you should be careful around cats. Like cats, they've been known to like pierce dogs' eyeballs and stuff like that. So I try to teach manners the best I can. If the dog is just really persistent, then sometimes the cat will take care of it. But ultimately, usually if you just teach them good boundaries, it's usually enough. Hey, no, Cashmere,
Get out!
come here.
All right,
No.
John. My Presa gets anxiety while going to PetSmart
I
in
know he's
public
being a jerk.
areas.
I'll put him up. She looked at me like, but he's being bad. You're just gonna let him get away with that?
Alright, hold on, guys.
Fine. I will not let him get away with it. I will put him away, Cashmere.
Yeah, I'm trying.
See the look on your face? Give me my shoe, boy.
Kind of chaotic if you can't tell.
Give me the man.
There's the dogs.
That's why we call it cooking with Corsos. Okay. All right.
I got the demon.
Alright,
Back.
chat, stay calm. I'll be right back.
Ow, he bit my ear. He bit my ear.
Put little vicious back.
Hello. He bit my ear.
Rachel, I have chat on my phone.
Okay.
Get off me. You off me.
Hi. Hey.
You.
Ah, okay. I'll answer your questions that you ask. Let me see. You say, good job, Devin.
I don't remember what I told him.
Oh. Know any breeders in CA? What's CA? California? No. Where is Velocity?
She's in her kennel because she was sick. She had a sore tummy.
Yeah. Do you offer training to your puppy buyers?
Yes, I do. But I don't charge them for it. I just give it to them whenever they need it.
Devin is so helpful. Good job tonight, nephew.
Yes.
Do you know any kind of corporate breeders in New York City?
No, I don't. Hey.
My bro wants French bulldog for money. However, they're extremely well cared for. Should I talk them out of it?
That sounds contradicting.
Yeah. Savannah, New York City.
I don't know. A lot of French bulldogs have health problems. Me personally, I guess do what you want. So
I wouldn't breed a dog for money.
I'm not looking for one. That's all I can
Savannah,
say.
are you using fresh cherries for your pie? I'm not using cherries for my pie. I'm not making a cherry pie. Mom.
She's mad at me.
Yeah.
I bought cherries, but they're not tasty.
Alright,
She
here.
doesn't think they
Missing
are.
my phone.
They're not sweet and tasty. Why would you want to make that?
Can they purchase
There's
one of
perfectly
your...
good blackberries right here.
They're bitter.
They're so
Like
good.
her.
So, how can they purchase one of your litter?
You can get on our reservation list. The best thing to do is when you submit an application, call me to follow up with it. If you don't, then sometimes it can take me a while to get back with you because I'm just super busy with my day job and it can be a problem.
Mm-hmm. 5 o'clock.
I need these rinsed. I will have a couple rinsed.
Do you want some all? I'm about to use them.
What?
Thank you.
It's Marcia. It's just a gender thing. I don't know.
What?
She said, "Why is a male dog better for a female?"
Because male dogs know that you're a woman. And they want to be
With women.
Rachel,
they want to be on your good side, whereas female dogs will compete with you. You know, they won't always listen. Like they're just, you know, it's just the reality of it. It's not now. Granted, now I will say that Midnight does not meet that description, but Cashmere does. Cashmere is better for a man, but Midnight doesn't act like that. There's always going to be exceptions to every rule. But having said that, I always recommend male dogs for women and female dogs for men.
so any dog shampoo suggestions for dog shampoo for puppies?
Do I have mine?
She's looking for the shampoo.
I mean, a lot of times I just use like mane and tail, but I think we have, yeah, so we have mane and tail here. That's what we use.
It also uses good on our hair if we want to have our hair grow. It works really well. But don't use it too much.
Okay, so how do we stop? How to stop pee wars between two male dogs in the house?
If it's in the house.
Okay, so you have to.
Sorry, did I pull the wire?
Well, no, you're good.
Usually when a male's gonna pee, he'll start to smell, he'll walk over, and then he'll get parallel with whatever it is he wants to pee on.
Mhm.
If you correct him, the second you see him starting to walk around and act like he wants to pee on something, and you tell him, and I don't know if you can see with my dog, but use the English language. My dogs know what I'm talking about. Like, they want to know time, just like a kid does. And so when I tell them, like, for example, the dog that I had when I first got Preacher, his name was Terrible. He died when he was 9.5 years old. Preacher was about 1.5 years old. But before that, Terrible started to get insecure about Preacher. And so he started to pee on Preacher's pee. And I saw it. And as soon as I saw it, I told him, I said, "I'm not going to pee on his pee." I called him off and moved him off of it and wouldn't let him, anytime he would try to pee on Preacher's pee, I would tell him, no, go somewhere else. Like, I would always correct him for it. So it's something that you're just going to have to be watching. If you can't sit there and keep an eye on them all the time, then kennel them when you're not watching. Let them out when you can actually supervise them. Because in order to stop a bad behavior, you have to stop that behavior. You cannot allow it to keep happening. It's a habit. So every time that animal does whatever it is that it's not supposed to be doing, you're taking 3 steps backwards and trying to get that animal to make progress.
Another thing I wanted to bring up is Preacher one time tried to pee on Cashmere while she was in heat. Remember? He tried to pee on her because he would pee
just
on top of her pee.
He was just being silly. He went to pee on her pee, but she wasn't done peeing.
It was because he was
Impatient.
But he wanted to pee
No, he was
on
not.
her pee.
No, he wanted to pee on her pee, but
Because
because to mark it as is my female.
Yes.
But it was not intended. He didn't. It's not like he calculated like I'm gonna pee on her.
I'm gonna pee on this woman.
No, it wasn't like that.
All right, how to train my Corso to stop trying to jump on my lap.
Sounds fresh.
When he tries to jump on your lap, tell him no. Make him sit next to you. Tell him to lay down, and then only pet him when he's laying down next to you. Ignore him and tell him to lay down if he doesn't. But as you can tell, I'm not very good at that.
What about Dobermans?
I like them a lot. They take a lot of energy. They have a very energetic temperament. So you want to be.
Is there anything you can do to avoid male dog have a random no? Okay. Do you know of a good Dogo breeder?
Actually, I don't think he's got any puppies right now. But there's a guy in New York I think they're in New York, or they're close to New York, that have some Dogos. But I don't think he's got any puppies right now. So,
Joanne, Alex has Seneca, right?
Yes.
All right.
Is that
If you want to tell us about it.
is it mold?
Fern has stray dogs in her area and has a great fear of them
Is that mold?
doesn't look
since
like
they almost attacked before.
Oh, yeah, it is. No, it's totally mold, yeah.
It's disgusting.
Bro,
Kinda
mold
stop-
happens. Get over
It's
it.
on a berry that we're using.
Throw that berry away.
How?
Think your berry's there.
I lost it. I was reading something, guys, and okay. How to stop her kind Corso from fighting the other dogs when he senses fear from her.
Well, you're gonna have to stop being fearful. You're gonna have to control your energy. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to control the dog. I mean, that's the first thing. Once you can control your energy, it may fix the problem entirely. If it has become a habit, once you fix your energy, then you can actually correct the behavior by the minute that the dog starts to show interest in another dog that you know is going to end up leading to aggression, that you correct that behavior, you correct the look, You make them look at you and what you're doing and focus on you until you trust that they can be looking at other dogs without trying to start a fight, basically.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Take your berries.
All right. Will they? People are asking, will they see Seneca again?
Yeah. I mean, she definitely will be, coming around. It's just that since Alex and I broke up, it's tough to be around each other. So I think that you need some time to get past the hurt so that you can move on to be something else, and which is honestly harder than too hard for most people to be able to do, but I've always kind of didn't see the need for people to hate each other after a breakup, basically.
Can you open your laptop?
Why?
Can I use it?
Why?
There's a guy in chat. No,
Oh,
I'll take care of it. What do you do if an aggressive dog approaches you and your dog's in a park? You just gotta separate them.
This is a saucepan, right?
People are asking for calendars.
Who is it? And I'll do it. What's
Ghost.
the name?
Ghost of
Is this
Gigi.
a saucepan? No.
No, that's not a saucepan. That white one is a saucepan.
Ghost of
That's a
Gigi.
saucepan?
Goodbye.
She will try to control you.
Yeah, Ghost, just get it. Go, please.
Huh? Me?
Next, I'm trying, Kathleen. Ugh.
People complimented you. By the way.
No. Oso won't disorder the rank at the pack. It's gonna be Preacher at the top.
Preacher at the top.
Which is the best place to put a kennel? Put the kennel in a bathroom, right?
No.
In the bedroom, sorry.
Bedroom.
Kennel in a bedroom?
Hey, cutie.
Mama.
Huh?
Kennel in the bedroom. Where's the best place to put a kennel?
You
Mom.
You can put it in your bedroom, wherever, really.
I love you.
Why did you choose Midnight over one of the other ones? I don't know.
I chose Midnight because she had the structure that I thought
Oh my god.
would mean she would be a really good dog. So I hope you get your answers. What is that?
Yeah, he was trying to ask questions. I tried to ask him what his questions were. He didn't.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes things like that happen.
How
You can't
old?
take
How old
personal.
is Velocity?
God, she'll be 2 years old in February. She's literally 11 months old.
And you said they don't get baths often, right?
Yeah, we don't do lots of
Okay.
baths.
Do you like the martingale colors?
Haven't used one yet, but as far as I know, they are a very good training method, much like the ones that I currently use, just a little different.
What?
That's rude. Let me see. Easy walk
Easy walk harnesses?
harnesses. I've never heard of those, but I'm not a fan of harnesses.
Okay, so Jesse's asking my Pitbulls, Rottweilers, and Akitas. He bought an old military dog, but the dog has a really strong people drive, and goes to attack him.
Which one
And-
is it, the Pitbull or the Akita?
Yeah, Jesse, what type of dog is that?
He bought an old military dog, but the dog has a really strong people drive and goes to attack them. Been training for 2 years. Help. Well, the problem with that is that those dogs have been bred for attack for so long that's a big reason why I don't like training or breeding dogs for bite work. I just don't. The Belgian Malinois are extremely well known for being very aggressive, very bitey dogs. So and it's just because that's what they're bred for. You breed the dog that goes and attacks the best, has the most ferocity. So, I mean, it's just what you're buying.
Alright,
Unfortunately,
So-
that's what they're bred for.
it's a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they're bred for. You can't turn that off. They bred for that. They wanted that. Like, that's what wins those competitions, those IPO competitions. That's what wins them. Are dogs that are so intense, so dedicated to the idea of attacking people that they just win. And unfortunately, you're not going to really be able to train that out. It's the same thing of whenever we talk about pit bulls and how some of them have some very, very specific lines in them that make them very dog aggressive to the point that you cannot train that out of them. You can keep an eye on them, you can prevent them from getting themselves into trouble, but you're never going to make them, you're not going to change who they are.
So, Hennessy's asking, he really wants to get a puppy from you. In a different state. How would that work?
So you can either drive to come pick up the dog, or we can ship the dog via flight or ground. If you do it via flight, it's called a flight nanny. Now you can either fly, you buy a round trip ticket. I think the most it's ever cost me is like $300, and then you spend $125 on the ticket back to bring the dog back. And so you have them in a little pet carrier, and it goes under the seat in front of you. And anyway, it's what people are doing, and as far as I've seen it, it's very good. So nutmeg is up there.
Yeah, but it says fresh.
I don't have any. No, I don't have freshly grated.
Would you ship to the UK?
I would if I knew how. I mean, if it's not too hard, I would. You know, I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks really good, Savannah.
Your thoughts on Pitbull Mastiff mixes?
Smells really good.
Rachel?
What?
Pitbull Mastiff mixes?
With this.
Pitbull Mastiff mixes. That's just your band dog. That's what Hulk is.
Okay.
I want to show them.
So look at this deliciousness
It smells very nice.
that Savannah put in front.
I can't really turn it.
Look at that. That looks good. I can't wait to have some of that. Oh my gosh. All right, so Sarah Jane, thank you for the $7.99. Talk of shipping puppies and purchasing.
Where would you not ship a puppy to? The only place I would not ship a puppy to is somewhere that I felt that the laws were going to make the dog illegal. You know what I mean? So Australia has some very strict laws, but as I know, or as I've heard, the
very strong.
the Cane Corso is not on that list.
No need to swear.
But it does kind of scare me.
Just something in the
Did I
chat.
swear?
No. Something
I
in the
think
chat.
somebody else was in the comments.
What's a good age to breed a female pit bull?
You don't like it? It's almond extract.
Y'all see that face? No.
Sorry.
Good age to breed a female pit bull.
So bad. Second heat.
Is it true that Labradis never mature out of puppy mode? 7-year-old who acts like he's still 6 months old.
Who, Roddy, you said? Rottweiler?
Labradis? So
Lab
a
Roddy?
lab and a Rottweiler?
I've never heard of that. The only dog I've ever heard of that doesn't mature or takes forever, I've heard that about beagles, but I have not heard that about anything else.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Do I know my IQ? Nope, never had tested.
That kind of tastes strange. Not strange.
What
it's
age
just,
did?
it tastes good. It's just the taste. It's just the.
No. Did you put too much of that in?
No.
Are you
It's
sure?
fine. It tastes good.
What age did Preacher mature?
He's still not 100% grown yet.
It's just the cornstarch adds a texture to it.
Shay, you're amazing. You're helping so much. Thank you.
She likes that. She's great.
What do you think about English Mastiffs?
It's I.
It's I.
What?
English Mastiffs?
It's alright.
They're lazy. I wouldn't want one because they. Did you see that video of the one that was going around the obedience ring?
Mommy, try
He's
this one
just
instead.
taking his time,
Mama, try
like
this
a
one
big
instead.
old lion.
Try one instead. No, try it instead.
No.
Try it. No. No.
I said no.
Mama, try it.
You can't make me.
Try it.
Ew, you stick your fingers in it.
Kelly.
I've washed my hands.
No.
Kelly with $5.
Go away.
Mama,
No.
Come on.
No.
Shush!
No.
Have it. Come on, Mama.
Rachel. Kelly.
No. No.
You can have this one instead. Take it.
Shay says it's not ready, child.
Why?
Take it.
No.
Take it.
I will take this little piece
No.
here.
That one.
No, go away.
Fine, have that
Thank
one.
you, some random girl.
Try it.
It's too much.
Eat it.
How old?
Wait.
Rachel, how old is Preacher?
Chew.
Preacher's 2?
It's not good.
Shay, you were so right. Oh my gosh. How old is Preacher?
That needs to be cooked. That's what
Preacher's going on 3?
Yeah, I think so.
Ah.
Oh, I didn't think it tastes bad.
Ah.
Look at that right there. Look at that.
Watch out, you're gonna make a mess.
Alright.
Thank you, Sylvia.
How long does this go in? I forgot. What did it tell me?
So Preacher's about 2.5, Shay says?
Sorry.
125.
I keep getting that taste in my mouth. Sorry, I'm making weird faces.
I'm trying here. You're making it hard.
I know, it's so bad. It just keeps coming back. Okay. Thank you. Thoughts on, I like bull terriers, but they can be a little neurotic. Let me see. Preacher will be 3 in February. I don't know anything about the bully coulda other than most of them that I've seen have bad structure.
Alright. Michelle asks, my dog lays down in predator mode when meeting another dog, then slowly stands up dominantly. Never changes, not the playful. What is the dog laying down signify?
No. No.
No!
Women.
Whammon!
Yes, Jen Jeffs. We have Patreon and we have a PayPal account.
She's like, need a coffee to take the taste away.
No, right?
No!
Bro, you have to put that in anyway.
Savannah, put
I
it.
already did. I'm waiting for it. No.
Then you can make me coffee.
No!
Come on.
Hey, get down, Blondie.
Please.
No!
Come on, you terrorize me with the sugary stuff.
Rachel, would you ever own another breed? Or breed another breed?
Possibly.
Okay.
Coffee. Please. Please.
Are we gonna have a birthday party for Preacher?
A birthday party?
I guess we could have like a live stream birthday party.
It's a bit much.
Oh,
Oh, Velocity's birthday's next month, though.
how do you feel about Caesar Milan's slip leads?
I like them. I think they're awesome.
Okay.
Child.
Sorry, I got a new shampoo and conditioner and I like it.
Oh, gosh.
Stray dog eats her
My
own.
gosh.
Oh.
Say his name!
Okay, shush. Stray dog eats her own puppies every litter after she was spayed. After she was spayed, she started to eat other females' puppies. Should we call the people so she can be sheltered?
That sounds like a really crazy dog.
Eating?
Did somebody say something about protecting me?
Hmm?
Experience when your dogs have protected you. That's for a video. Too much for right now.
Too much.
Another t-shirt. Wabbin.
What-
That's right.
Okay. John is asking. John, he's been in chat for a while. What would you do with $10 million?
$10 million?
Buy dogs in cages and make stuff.
I'd buy a
Fix the property.
big farm with a lot of property where it's really beautiful, and I'd have a big, probably log cabin with lots of windows, lots of animals, and
She'd have lots of children's.
that's about it. Probably have a lot of animals, a lot of space.
What do you do when a dog keeps chasing cats?
Calves?
Cats.
Cats?
Get on the dog, for sure.
We never got onto our dogs about it because we didn't really.
What are game birds?
Game birds are fighting chickens.
So no, she would never breed game birds.
No. I have no interest in fighting chickens.
Lucky we do have t-shirts.
Yeah.
I
I would have
you
a Rottweiler.
ever? Yeah, I was
would
gonna
have a
ask that.
Rottweiler. I would. I love Rottweilers. I still do.
She hates Akitas.
I don't hate Akitas, but
I
I
hate-
haven't met one I liked yet.
Yeah, you want an egg?
Up to what size,
You-
Rachel? Rachel, how big do they get?
What?
The shirts and stuff that you're selling.
I think they get really big, like 5X. Dude, back up off me.
Oh, ew, it feels weird if you shake it. Shake it, mama.
Ooh. Seriously though, put that back. And I want coffee, please.
Once you're,
What would the consequences be to having a big dog female and a small dog male have?
yeah, 1 second.
Artificial insemination.
Artificial.
Is that what you would have to do?
Yeah. Most likely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because you can't have. Well, no, I think they were saying, what are the consequences if a big dog breeds with a little dog? Which I'm not sure if that's even
There are no
possible.
consequences, yeah.
You
They
just
either
get a weird dog.
they either breed and you have puppies, or they can't breed.
Oh, Jessica
Thank you, Jessica.
used to dominate me, but following
Oh,
your
thank you. I'm
tight-
glad. I love
that's
to hear that
awesome.
it helps. I love to hear when people have good experiences.
Lucky, there should
That
be
makes my
a
day.
sorry.
Yeah, lucky. I'll put a link in there for you guys, but
So how do you stop dogs from protecting you when it's not needed?
by correcting them right whenever they start to try to protect. Always correct the behavior before it gets to the point that it's a problem.
Okay. What do you suggest for a 2-month-old Cane Corso who has a cough? Antibiotics?
A cough?
Cough.
Kennel cough? Or what kind of cough?
Yeah, I was gonna say what kind of cough? Because a cough could be the dog could have a cough from kennel cough. The dog could have a heart problem. Sometimes heart problems will cause a cough. It just depends on what that cough is from. I would definitely get them in. I would definitely get them into the vet for sure.
How many have sold?
I don't know. So there's bro, back up off me. I don't know how to do
There's
that.
the link.
No, there's just remove. It doesn't let me.
Weird.
What does it mean when a dog, golden retriever, gets excited and barks a lot when he sees another
Is your
dog?
mystery man a vet?
Yeah. He is a
A man.
he's a veteran. he's
He's a veteran.
he's my mystery man is I would almost go so far as to say like my best friend Jason. We met when I was like 16, and we're just like really good friends.
All right. How to help a whiny dog stop being insecure and whining all the time?
No. Stop reminding her.
What's up?
Nothing. Devin should get promoted.
Would I ship to India? Jeez, I don't know.
That's a long
it's a
ways
long
to
ways
go.
away. I mean, just depends.
No.
What are your main focuses area when breeding American
Lucky,
type
Lucky,
Corsos versus Italian?
Stop it.
Yes, lucky. Come on!
No.
Rachel, what do you think of a treadmill for dogs?
Dude.
I don't have a problem with it so long as it's supervised and the dog is like, okay with it. Bro, come on, man.
And you probably wouldn't ship to Ireland, would you?
Myself.
I can make it if Savannah will read chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
sure.
wanna
But do
read?
you know how to make the
No,
coffee?
he doesn't know how.
Dang it.
There's a very, very special way.
I'm
to
trying,
make this
people.
coffee.
I keep my house clean by I have a vacuum. I have okay, so this is the thing. Buy the expensive vacuum. Buy it. Okay? Buy the Shark. That's what we have.
I clean.
Buy the expensive steam cleaner. We have what is it called?
A steam cleaner?
The steam cleaner. What's it called?
Oh, our steam cleaner?
It's like the Steam Pro something.
It's the professional grade one.
It is a rug
Rug Doctor. We have Rug Doctor. Get those things. They make it possible.
Our vacuum cleaner's pretty cool too.
And then, the Shark vacuum cleaner is really good. So get those things, and then keep your house clean and keep your dogs clean. And honestly, if you come in one day and it smells like dog, air it out. Get your house clean. Sweep and mop everything. Use disinfectants.
Will not let this house be dirty.
Yeah, I can't stand a dirty house,
Savannah.
and I really can't stand the smell of dog. Like, people always say, your house must smell like dog, and it's like, I sure hope not, because if I walk in my house and it smells like dog, I'm like, okay, what's wrong? Like, what do we need to clean right now? So,
She gets a bit irritated.
I get irritated with it. I have to have cleanliness because that's the way my brain works. I need cleanliness around me.
Stop.
Mom, I don't think that pie's gonna have a top crust.
All right.
That's fine.
Stop. So, how do you keep your dogs clean when you take them out in the morning? Do you have to brush them down before they come back in?
Depends what kind of day.
Yeah,
it is.
so
it
if
rains.
if it rained and they're muddy, we put them in their kennels, and then we let it dry, and it literally like flakes off of them and comes off.
And usually they'll let them out through the back door so they don't get.
Yeah, and we'll kind of give them a rub down. Sometimes we'll take some baby wipes and just kind of give them a little rub down. But honestly, like, you really don't want to overly wash your dogs. It will actually make them smell worse because their oil glands will become overreactive, and it's not a good thing.
How do I train my dogs to accept being brushed?
Yes, Betty Boo. I used to always get the cheapest vacuum cleaner because I figured, oh, they break all the time. Why am I going to spend a lot of money? But I was wrong. Get the Shark. Preacher's doing great. I can't wait until I pick him up.
You're gonna like cry.
Cost of raw
I
diet.
know, Hector. That's what I'm saying. Is it too much to ask for coffee? I don't think so.
Dude, I'm making you coffee right now. Quit complaining. Give me it.
She threw a coffee pot.
Give me it.
Savannah, you got people yelling at you to make your coffee.
Hey, don't yell at me. Only my mother can yell at me.
How long does a female's heat last?
No, I'm not a Virgo. I'm a Pisces Aquarius cusp.
How long does a female's heat last?
Irish
I'm hearing.
Wolfhounds. I sure do like them. Sorry, I'm backing off.
Yeah, Mom. Quit looking at the comments. Don't be like that.
I'm sorry.
Mama, I swear, I will not make you coffee. You keep on acting like
Okay,
this.
next question.
I'm watching you.
I'm watching you.
I'm watching you.
How long does a
You're
female's
almost-
heat last?
A month.
6
6 months.
a month.
A whole month.
There's 6 months in between heats. They're in heat for about a month. So what happens is that there's different stages to the heat. So they initially will go into heat, and then they will not be receptive during that time. So there's a lot of swelling, a lot of menstruation, and then after about 2 weeks of that, the fluid starts to get a little bit more clear. The rear area begins to shrink down, and the female will begin to do what is called flagging, which is where she'll throw her tail to the side either way very hard. It's her moving her tail out of the way for breeding purposes. When she starts to do that, you're ready to go. Some females are a little bit
And a way to test
quick
that
on the
is-
draw, and so they'll be flagging before they're actually ready. But most of the time, it's a pretty good sign. So if you don't know, go up to your female and just kind of give her a
Scratch
rub
her.
on her butt. And most likely she'll go whip.
Her hip.
Yeah, they'll push their butt to the side and do the tail, and that's how you know.
Especially Cashmere. She's like, they grab that.
Yeah. Can I get?
Wait, I am putting the porn.
So are we doing merch with, like, cups?
I do
Stickers?
have coffee mugs. I don't know how to use, like, that merch site is a little weird.
We can look at it tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to, like, do better merch. I know. I'm sorry, but I did get some. But it's just so hard. There's so much stuff I have to learn how to do right now, you guys. Like, it's not just as easy as, like, oh, set up some merch. Like, okay, yeah, but I mean, YouTube has their people, and I did that. But having said that, is it the best merch? Is it the best company? I don't know. I looked around. I tried to do some Googling on it, but then all you get are those, like, the 10 best people, and it's like, that's just paid sponsor stuff. So I don't know. It's hard. I wish I had an expert that could be like, hey, Rachel, this is how you do it, but I don't.
Yeah.
So,
Spider!
So who was asking this? The Nana Gabbana. Can I use bleach around my parent dog? She's in the kitchen in a whelping box,
I had to kill it.
and I'm itching to mop the floor so bad.
yeah, you can use bleach around your dog. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
As long as you like,
Yeah.
I'll lick it up.
CJ, I think CJ's saying that you can't.
Yeah, you can use bleach around
Do
your
not-
dog. It's
okay.
not, bleach isn't really all, I mean, it's
not a
that
nursing,
bad.
but a nursing dog is different, right?
Yeah, no, it's fine. I
Okay.
mean, you're not pouring bleach on the dog, right?
Not pouring
I mean,
it in the
yeah,
dog
just
or-
do a 30% bleach solution, clean in that area, dry it, and then, then let dog down. I mean, there shouldn't be anything like left over. It's not like you're just leaving a bunch of bleach all over the floor, hopefully.
Yeah,
That'll just ruin your floor.
How would you an aggressive dog who manages to get out of their kennel every time to reach other dogs to fight?
Oh, so we recently got new kennels. Hey, Velocity, no. Quiet down. So we recently got new kennels to prevent our dogs from being able to get out, but that's what I was just you can't do anything about it when you're not there. Velocity.
When
No.
do you get your new cat?
The litter's not even born yet.
Yeah, they're not even born yet. I just placed a deposit.
It's a Highlander cat.
All right, people.
I would let her out, but she's just not. I don't trust her. She threw up on my floor earlier, and as I told you, I feed my dogs raw, so like that's not anything I'm trying to clean up right now. Move, get them away, whammy.
You do like Dobermans, right?
Yeah,
All right,
I think they're beautiful.
Impact. What is an impact crate?
I believe that that's a very, very strong industrial crate. The one we got is good. I know that Preacher is notorious for getting out of them, or crates, and he hasn't been able to get out of one
Hey,
yet.
do you want me to make more coffee than that? That looks like not much.
Did you do 2 of them?
Yeah. I just haven't seen much of that.
You did 2 of them.
Yeah. Look at it though. Like, take a look at that and see. That's 2 of them. Is that how much you want them?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Slip leads or prong collars?
Slip leads or prong collars?
Choke collar.
I don't do a prong collar unless absolutely necessary. I think that they work, but I think that the reason that they work, I don't like. I personally think that a person should be like you're using a tool to do what you should be able to do on your own, if that makes sense. That's why I prefer just the collar, just the choke collar. Just me personally, I just do. It's all I need, and so I've used at one point, I got a prong collar for Preacher just for whatever. I don't even know why. Like I just got one, and
Probably tested it out, so you know it works.
like it works and all that, but it's I don't know. It didn't work that much better than the collar I already had. Down to me getting him under control, because he was like younger at the time. So I never use it. You know, I bought it.
Kind of hidden away.
Yeah, it kind of worked, but like I said, it's a band-aid, if that makes sense. That's how it felt to me.
Do Corsos do okay in cold weather, or do they need coats?
A lot of them do really good in cold weather. Most of them have a double coat. Not all, but a lot of them do. Chinchilla, for example, if you look at him, that's that double coat.
Also has a double coat, but it's not as.
Yeah, Oso also has the double coat. It's not as thick as.
Preacher had a double
And
coat.
Baby Bear has a double coat. Preacher had a double coat. Cashmere does not have a double coat. Not all of them do. Some people will tell you that only Rio Cane Corso have double coats. That's not true. The Cane Corso were all over Italy, and some were in areas where it was colder than others. So that's why.
All right. Dottie was asking when do you start obedience training?
I usually start obedience training around 4 months old, something like that. You know, I mean, granted, I start training from a very early age on just like the basics, like of respect, of not giving me attitude, not growling at me, things like that. But as far as like actually training things like sit and stay and lay down, stuff like that, I usually don't start any of that until around 4 months old. And even then, it's just the basics. I would start them getting used to like a collar and a leash and things like that. But as for like really, really obedience, usually around 6 months is when they start actually getting to the mentality and the maturity level to actually be able to take that training in and use it.
Coffee's on the way.
So my cat only uses the bathroom when the older cats are close. The older cats lock themselves in the room sometimes. We feel she'll hold it in until she sees them. How do we fix this behavior?
The dog won't go.
It's a cat.
The cat?
The cat won't go to the bathroom without the other ones. But the other ones lock themselves in the room.
I don't know.
It's
There
kind of a
is
strange question.
cats are different. There's a cat guy. There's a cat whisperer. But it probably has to do with you not having big enough or enough litter boxes is usually what he says. I think he says like your litter box isn't big enough, or you've got it covered and you shouldn't. You got it somewhere that it makes it not of use to the cat.
You gotta see where they like to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you got to know where they want to go to the bathroom. I think that was another thing. And then they also need to feel comfortable. So, like, if it's being overused, then that's another thing. So, I think he said something like you need a litter box for every cat.
For cat's not your specialty either. So.
No,
I mean, we used
but
to
I
have a
have
ton of
watched that
cats.
guy a lot. Like I do watch that
Ooh.
cat guy because I have cats. I like to learn about behavior and stuff.
Automobile. What if my Presa and Rottweiler keep killing cats that come into the yard? What do I do?
Killing cats?
Nothing you can do but bring them inside. Nothing you can do.
Don't let your dog kill cats. Easy thing, you know? Like,
She, Beloved, she does like Rottweilers. She wants to get one soon, right?
No, I don't want to get one, but I do like them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I have limited space, so I can't have all the dogs that I would want. So I love Rottweilers. I think they're beautiful.
coffee
They'll-
is served.
They will always have a really special place in my heart. But I love the Cane Corso more. So, but they're still a really great breed. I mean, I love them. Love them. I used to have when I was a kid. I even had this I got it from.
Lucky's like, thank you, Savannah.
Where did I get it from? Was it? I almost think I got it from Spencer's, but it was this big, huge stuffed Rottweiler, and it had the leather nose. You remember back whenever stuffed animals were actually made with quality products. So it had that leather nose, and it looked like a real Rottweiler. People would see that thing and be like, "Ugh," and I loved it. It was it's so awesome. What?
Everybody's like, way to go, Savannah!
We're just reading chat, guys.
Yep.
What interested you in Cane Corsos?
First, you wanted to get a different breed, right?
Yeah, first I was looking at the South African Boerboel, and then because I've always liked big dogs, always wanted big dogs, the biggest possible. Actually, was kind of how I was. But I always knew that big dogs came usually with a lot of health problems, but I never really understood. I guess I always figured to myself, if nature can make the wolf, which is huge, mind you, if you've never seen a wolf in person, they're huge. If nature can make a wolf not break down from hip dysplasia and be that big, why can't we?
Even wolf hybrids are really big, too.
Yeah, and so I was like, you know what? Let's just see again, maybe, because we think we know all the breeds, but we don't. And so, anyway, so I found the South African Boerboel, and then I knew I wanted a black dog, and I didn't, after talking with some South African Boerboel breeders, I didn't feel that it was right to get a black one because I don't believe that they're purebred. And so I figured if I wanted a big black dog, a big black mastiff, then the only legitimate black mastiff is the Italians. They're the only ones that do black mastiffs. The Presa can come in black, but I believe there's even a discrepancy amongst them. I've read some stuff that says that the Presa shouldn't come in black. So, and I want to say there's multiple registries for them for that reason. So,
Bye, Jenny.
so anyway, yeah. So that's that. They're big, beautiful dogs, that's for sure.
All right.
Does your coffee taste good?
Maze
Yes.
Kenneth
I don't know. I
tips
haven't
on a
seen
dog
yours
to
yet.
stop pulling and walking him, and he spots other dogs. Can't get his attention. Maybe I'm using a wrong leash.
No, it's not the leash.
Sure.
It's you. If you do a leash correction and your dog ignores you, then there's a respect issue there. You're going to need to address that first. Be able to even use the leash to correct the dog. Because he could very well know you're correcting him and just not care. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Do you even have that oven on?
People are like, don't burn the pie.
No, I'm not burning it, you guys. It's got 10 minutes.
Beloved, how do you pronounce your name?
Here.
Oh no, Cashmere's on my lap and I can't even do anything.
No.
Lick his face.
This is what we mean when we say she loves men.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, love. Okay.
Get over here.
Okay, stop. Get off. I'm trying to help her. Go.
Everybody's face reveal.
No.
Cashmere,
All right.
leave him alone. Go away.
They've already seen your face. You
Casual.
passed by on the camera.
Leave him alone.
Frontline Presa.
Press it.
Presa.
Yeah, we talked about Presses. If you wanna,
What do you do about it? What to do about a whiny dog?
welcome to Velocity.
Not much.
Will you fix that camera, sweetheart?
Is it moved? Okay, yeah.
You know, you just correct them. I've got some videos on how to train high energy dogs, and that's a really great video to watch because Velocity is a chirper. You know, she's always chirping.
She is sexually assaulting him. They was just saying for Cashmere, sorry.
It's Cashmere. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
What do you think of X-Man Conde Corso?
X-Men. He's hyper tight. I don't like him personally. That's my opinion. Didn't really like
Good
him.
daughter.
All right, people are just blowing up.
Thank you.
They're big just now. So.
Rachel's face!
All right, so how to stop rat terrier from attacking other dogs? Special areas. These 10-year-old man doesn't like other dogs. He bites them in their no-no spot when he gets defensive.
No spot. I like that one. No spot.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start getting onto him as soon as he starts to show what?
We're showing you.
Bro, you keep opening it. It's not gonna cook if you keep letting all the heat out.
Go away! I read your comments.
Go away. Yeah, so you're gonna want to get onto him as soon as he starts getting uppity. I mean, when you're dealing with a little dog like that, it can be very hard. Sometimes you need to start off with something simple, like putting him on a leash, taking him somewhere where there are other dogs, and making him just sit next to you and be calm. Sometimes you have to start that small, like at those kinds of basics, and get him to be that calm and wait until he's chill. It may take you a while. A dog like that, it may take you a while for him to be chill enough. Now I've seen people do stuff like, there's this one trainer I saw and it worked, but granted, I personally didn't like the approach. But what he did is he took a dog that was aggressive and he put it in a muzzle, and he basically took it to the dog park and just like let it be a dog with a muzzle on him. But I personally, that to me is just like, it's like, it could work, but it could not work. Like the dog could like freak out and could be attacked by other dogs because of the energy and stuff like that. I just prefer to just do the work ourselves. You know, I'm very hands-on with my dogs, and that's the kind of advice I'm going to give. So that's what I would do. If it was my dog, I would go out and I would just, maybe not in the dog park the first time, maybe outside the dog park. You sit and make him chill until he's chill. Then you maybe move into the dog park. He still has to be chill, still has to be calm. When you do finally let him up or let him out, you want to make sure that that the second that he starts to get riled up, that he immediately goes into submissive posture, back on the leash again. Like he has to know you either behave correctly or you're on this leash right next to me. Like that needs to be his reality.
How do you build confidence in a dog?
With love and you want to take time with them. You want to go out and spend time socializing them and building their confidence by, you know, when they do something good, giving them lots of praise, loving on them.
Somebody said, do you let Savannah curse yet? No!
No.
13!
All right, so if you were to get into another breed of dogs, what would it be and why?
Wild Wayman.
Now let her have some time to talk about it.
I don't know. I was recently looking into like the wolfhounds, the Irish wolfhounds. I do like them. I find them to be very noble looking. But as far as I like the deerhound, if I'm not mistaken, is the actual more authentic breed, whereas the wolfhound, if I'm not mistaken, is a more recent invention. But in an ideal, if it didn't matter and I could just do what I wanted, I would probably breed a dog that looks like the kind of Corso in the head and like has really nice bone and structure, but lends more towards a greyhound. Like I really love, you'll see this in the UK, the Alants, the Bull Alant. I really like those dogs. That to me is like the supreme dog. And to see that in the size of like a Cane Corso to me would be just awesome. I just would love it. But you know, that's just, I don't know that there's enough of a amount of people that are looking for a dog like that to justify breeding them.
Jackson Galaxy is the cat whisperer, they say.
People are saying you should write a book.
Yeah, I'm lazy. It's not that I'm lazy. It's just like writing is not my forte.
She already answered, how do you build dogs' confidence?
Lot of love.
Lunari
Now,
Fox.
if somebody wanted to sit and type it out while I talked, let me know. I'll give you a
All
percentage.
right, Jesse Dreams. Jesse Dreams is asking. Okay, I know I have a lot. I have a lot of weird questions, but I have a lot of weird problems. Cousin had adopted an abused dog that was used for sexual activities.
What?
How to stop the dog from licking weird areas?
Oh Lord.
That just sounds.
Jesse, that was a weird question.
Woo! Okay. Well, life is what it is. So yeah. The second the dog goes to try to do that, I would send the dog. I would say very sternly. I would take the dog's mouth in my hands, and I would say no, and then I would make them go and lay down at their spot and stay there. And I would ignore them when they do that, so that they know nothing good will ever come of doing that. That's all you can do.
How do you stop a female dog from being overly submissive?
It may just be your temperament. There may not be anything you can do about that. Eclipse was like that.
Although she was kind of a bit.
Was
It usually is a sign of a weak temperament.
Tibetan Mastiffs?
So it depends. There's a lot of people, what they think of as a Tibetan Mastiff is actually a designer breed. The big ones that you see, like the most expensive dog ever sold, that was like a Chow mix. So the original Tibetan Mastiff is not as fluffy, not as big. You'll find that anytime you look at the original version of a dog, it's less impressive in a way. At least to the general public, they're usually smaller, lighter in frame, less hair, things like that. All things that really make a dog better for working purposes. It's one of those things. So the Tibetan Mastiff is I believe a livestock guardian breed by nature, or by its breed habit. But like I said, if you go and you get one of those big ones with all they make them think they look like lions, then you're getting a Chow mix. There's no telling what they're like.
Okay.
At what age is submissive peeing in dogs most prominent? Sorry.
It can happen at any age. With Tennessee, she did it. She didn't do it originally. She started doing it later. Her whole litter did it. Her whole litter was very submissive. Her grandmother did it. I don't know if her mother did it or not, but I don't think they would, be honest about that. Even if she did, I'm probably guessing she probably did, considering all her puppies did. So it depends. I know that in that line where it was a very strong trait, it didn't stop until that female was 2 years of age. That's the only experience that I have on it, because that was the only dog that I've ever had that actually did that. I've never had a dog that's submissive urinated like that before. I've had puppies do it like every now and then, just like on a whim, like a lot of puppies will kind of do it like once every now and again, but it's not like that. Not where they're doing it all the time. You just look at them and they're just like peeing. Like, no. So.
All right, Jamie
That doesn't look done.
Van Asselt. I need some advice.
I feel like the crush should be good.
I have a border collie,
Okay, well, I'm just saying it'll get a little bit
and
of
he's very aggressive on leash, but when he is off leash, is very nice and doesn't care about other dogs. I try to correct him, but yeah. Help.
No, I don't like that. It doesn't look cooked to me.
So how much longer?
I don't know. What did you do?
It says 20 minutes. We're until golden brown.
I don't think it's golden brown.
How much longer should I do it?
I don't know. Maybe just keep an eye on it. I would put maybe like 5-10 minutes on the clock. 10 minutes maybe.
So, she has a border collie. When she's on leash, she's really aggressive, but when she's off leash, she's really like fun and doesn't like other dogs.
Doesn't like other dogs, or does?
No.
Doesn't care about other dogs.
Yeah. Leashes can oftentimes kind of instigate aggression. With border collies, you're talking about a dog that has a very high working drive. You may just that it may be that you may be seeing that working drive kind of pushing through like that because there may be a lack of places to exert that energy, but it's that's one of those things to me where it could just be habit. If she started doing it at one point and then nobody corrected it and now she just does it, it could be that. I mean, there's a number of things it could be. You need to talk to you and be able to ask a bunch of questions to figure out what is going on. But
I'm tired.
But ultimately, like many of the things I talk about, if you want it to stop, you're going to have to correct that behavior before it gets to the point that it is actually to where there's actually action taken by the dog, whether it be barking or lunging, anything like that. You need to correct it at the minute that they start looking over there. That's when you want to start correcting it. If you know that dog has that issue, or if you, for example, if you know that dog has leash aggression and there's another dog walking up, you need to be watching your dog. And the second that your dog starts to try to do their little tantrum, you need to just be checking on that leash. And if they don't stop, you turn them around. You do whatever you have to do to get control of that situation, but you make sure they don't do that anymore.
Jessica's asking, any of your dogs have a stinky butt? I had my dog's gland expressed, but still smells so bad. What do I do?
Yeah, so sometimes they do that. Mine will do it every now and again. It's disgusting. It's the worst smell in the world, I think.
We call it something that we probably shouldn't call them.
Yeah, no, don't say that. Yeah, don't say it. But yeah, we have a word for it. The only thing you can do is just try to adjust their diet. Sometimes, for example, Preacher got it real bad whenever we were feeding him a salmon dog food that had a lot of oil in it. So sometimes things like that can be causing it, but sometimes it just happens. It's just part of owning a dog, unfortunately.
Who will Oso breed with, do you think?
I've got a deposit in with a guy. I remember telling you guys about it. I paid for a dog back in February of last year, and the guy is that is supposed to be having puppies soon. That would be a female that I would be able to breed him to, and then I do plan on getting other females. So I'm not. It's just that I want to be I only want to breed the best of the best, whether it be temperament or structure. And with the nature of breeders, there's no way of really knowing all the time. You can't just go drive to someone's house and be like, hey, let me see how you keep your dogs. Let me see what your dogs are like. And so you end up sometimes getting dogs that are not going to be breed quality. And so it happens to me sometimes. And so it's happened to me a couple times, and I've luckily had another breeder friend of mine that was really strong enough and honest enough to get me to see that I needed to, that if I wasn't careful, I would end up like many other breeders because I wasn't being as stringent as I should be. And so that's why we gave Alex, hoping that we'll see if she changes.
She did. Whenever I went over there, she seemed fine.
Yeah, she had some weird going on, but I had a feeling that it had to do with our pack, and not every dog does well in a pack. They just don't. And her in particular, it just probably would have been pretty bad. So, I don't know. So we just, it was just one of those things. There were some things about her siblings that I had heard that were troubling to me. So there's no guarantee that a lot of times when you have a dog with issues, you don't know if it's the genetics or if it's the way the animal was kept, right? Sometimes it's the environment that the animal comes from. And it's very tricky sometimes figuring out which one of those it is. So she has really great structure. We're going to see what she does in a different environment to try to see if it is in fact genetic or if it's environment. So yeah. Go ahead.
So Buffy, Chinchilla. So she's talking about Chinchilla. How often does a Corso have gray, fuzzy hair, blue eyes? That puppy was gorgeous. They were all adorable. But Chinchilla stood out just like Condi.
Yep. So
he was a puppy. He had blue eyes.
yeah, all puppies have blue eyes. They don't know the color they're going to be until they're older.
So big cashmeres.
So so the Cane Corso is not allowed to have blue eyes. The eyes of the dog should match the coat color of the dog. Or like something close to that. So a gray, that's why they call the Cane Corso gray instead of blue like they do with the Pitbulls, because the eyes should be gray.
You mean blue instead of gray?
No, they call them gray. With Pitbulls, they call them blue. And so the difference being, though, is that the black dog should have very dark brown eyes that almost look red, which preachers do. So the fuzzy coat, that's a double coat. I think it had to do with the time of year that they were born in combination with just their genetics. So yeah, the fuzzy coat, not that uncommon. He was a very nice light blue or light gray, which is not always the most common. I think that probably is the least common thing about him, is you'll get a lot of dark grays like the Neos, but you rarely get the really icy blue, and he's a very icy blue.
So he might not still dogs tend to get darker.
Yeah, they always get darker with but still.
All right, I have something to show you guys.
Oh, cashmere with her.
I have to show y'all something really cute. You'll see that Preacher and Cashmere and Midnight was chilling out over there.
On the couch sleeping, yeah.
Oh my god.
It's sleepy time for them right now. They're all tired. I mean, it's getting late, but 5
Yeah.
o'clock on yet.
Yeah, we're okay.
What is that?
This is the dough.
The dough.
Yeah. I'm just gonna add more to it to see what it does.
See you, Candy. Thanks for hanging out.
Dude, this is just extra dough.
You're just making a mess of
I know, right?
I am not. Dude, leave me alone. Quit looking at me like that.
Another problem.
No, Mom! You were supposed to give me nose.
How do I get my dog's attention
I don't
back
trust
on
you.
me?
No
with
way.
his-
I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do anything.
I don't trust you.
And Robin's
How do I get my dog's
Mom, if I
attention
do, I have
back
to
on me
be-
when we're walking past other dogs? I
Yeah,
tried
I don't
food.
trust you. You got a face.
No.
Stop.
No.
No, I don't.
Wait,
Sorry.
we're not done.
Sorry.
CJ's leaving. Okay.
Okay.
Bye, CJ.
Savannah, is that a Gravity Falls shirt?
Yes, it is.
Oh. What do you feed when you don't feed them raw? Like raw meat?
I feed Costco Nature's Domain.
Nature's.
Yeah.
What was the
What time is it?
It's
What's your
9:30.
face?
9:30. Okay.
It's not even that late. We usually go until like 11.
Weeknight though, that's the difference.
Wasn't there? So you bought. What was the famous person's name that you bought one of your puppies?
She didn't buy one of her puppies from him. He bought a puppy from her.
Yeah, he bought a puppy for me.
He bought Chinchilla.
He bought Chinchilla.
Do you feel regular kibble other than raw? I don't know. Do you feed regular kibble other than raw?
His name was Denzel Ward, by the way.
Denzel Ward.
I feed the dog food.
Gentle
In the
Giant.
beef formula.
Okay.
In the beef. Why won't you give me any nose? Mama,
No.
no.
Do you know any?
No.
Do you know Animal Planet's Too Cute show?
I don't trust
Would
you.
you accept being in the
Bring it
show?
down.
Yeah. That's good. So Rachel, when Blondie goes to the dog park, is she afraid of the other dogs?
She's not afraid, but definitely like a little bit more shy.
Probably how I should do the dough.
So Cherokee Rose Stables, could it be very rough play if they're still allowing your dog at daycare on the same days as others? I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
She's leaving?
Bye, Shay.
No, she's not leaving. How does a dog at the dog park with a harness cause?
Aggression
If
if there's
they're
no hook to it.
Yeah.
I don't know that a dog with a harness. I think that in general, what I have found is that people that use harnesses on their dogs oftentimes don't have they're not usually good at training their dogs. It's not always the case. There's always going to be an exception to everything. But in my experience, people that have their dogs in harnesses because they can't walk their dog on a leash without the dog choking itself, and they would rather let the dog pull them around on a harness than have the dog pull them around choking itself. Just my experience.
What's your opinion of when to introduce a canine Corso to an infant?
I mean, I'd probably let him come over and take a look, but I like to maintain very good boundaries between dogs and babies because
check the pie.
they need to know that it's not they don't share the same space. Like away from to show that the dog is beneath the kid is
Good
to
night,
always
Lucky.
maintain those really good boundaries. So
I'm going to get the pie. Maybe.
How do you find the name? Yeah, how do you
Good night,
name them?
What?
It's
How do you name
very
your
long
dogs?
process.
It takes me forever to name my dogs.
Would it help?
I'm still not even happy with Oso's name. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't.
I love it.
I know everybody does, and I chose it, but honestly, now I feel like I should name him Sid Vicious,
It's
Little Vicious.
the crust. The filling is burnt.
It's not burnt.
It's not burnt.
It's
The middle.
toasted. How dare you?
My puppy is
It's
having.
not raw. Yes, it is.
Huh.
Well,
The middle is.
It's
I still
fine.
want a bit of it.
Rachel.
what?
I want a crust on it.
What?
Rachel.
Yes. Yes.
No, it's already baked.
No.
You can't. Yes, the pie is ready.
But I'm actually going to bake a crust separately, and then just place it on.
My puppy is having food aggression. How do I get it to stop?
By taking
Mom, stop touching it. It's not done.
no problem. What we did with ours is we would come by, and if he growled, we'd take possession of the food back, give it back one little piece at a time, so they learn that you're the source of the food. Basically, with my dogs, I teach them if you growl at me, then I'm going to do exactly the opposite of what you want me to do. So you'll never get what you want. You know what I mean? I'm like that's how most alphas are. If any of my dogs growl at Cashmere, she turns around, she's like, "What'd you say?" And she comes over and she's like, she's ready to put them in their place. That's how I am. You growl at me, and I'm like, "Oh, really? You think you're gonna growl at me? Give me that food. That's my food now." You know what I mean? That's how I roll. So,
Susan thinks Oso should be named Terrible.
I don't know.
So what if
we did think about that, but it's too soon for me.
It's too soon since our last dog.
Terrible is the first dog that I've ever had that I actually had to put down, that I'd owned from 6 weeks old all the way up to full grown. It's such a sensitive subject to me that I haven't even been able to do a video on him yet. So
We showed pictures.
he's
of him.
just it's hard for me to talk about him in depth without crying, because I'm a dog person, not a people person. I have a friend. I have lots of friends. That's not true. But I don't like people as so for me, when he died, it was a lot hard. It was probably the hardest thing I've ever gone through, to be honest with you. One of the hardest things. So anyway, so I don't know that I can use that name yet. There will be a time when I will, but I can't use it yet.
So instead of terrible, how about horrible?
No. It's
Someone-
horrible, no.
Oso's name should be Spartan. Ooh, I like that.
No, I've heard some stuff about the Spartans that I'm kind of like, ooh, no.
Oso
wow.
Taz, short for
Spartans,
Tasmanian
you
Devil.
go on YouTube and find out the things you don't know about the Spartans, the things they don't say about the Spartans, and then you'll be like, oh God, wow, ooh, that's a messed up culture right
How
there.
do I? So Sydney's been asking this for a while. How do I get my dog's attention back on me when
walking
we're
past other
dogs. Yeah.
So you're gonna have to do a leash correction. Now, what I will say is, okay, so Caesar Milan,
I hope y'all just saw that. Sorry.
Dropped it on
Caesar Milan gets a lot of crap for his leg tap that he does, but the reason that he's doing it is it's for dogs that have lost sensitivity in their neck. They've fucked the leash so many times that you can yank on that thing all day long and the dog isn't gonna feel it. So the foot thing that he does where he throws the foot back and he touches the midsection of the dog, it's not to kick the dog, it's not to hurt the dog, it's to get the dog's attention again.
It's the same thing as doing a leash correction kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's the same. It is the same purpose of a leash correction. So, it's just one of those things where you're gonna have to figure out what works for your dog, what you can do. Maybe you could do like get like a cup or a water bottle and maybe some rocks or some sounds or something, and do the leash correction. And when he doesn't listen, do that sound. There's got to be something to break that train of thought, that energy, and redirect it. And you're gonna have to figure out what that is.
Who's Blondie? Blondie?
I don't know.
Blondie.
Oh, she's probably in that other room because I shut the room door that Velocity was in.
Oh, she's in here.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I hope she's not.
Just so you'll know, we're gonna end the chat at 10 o'clock because I do have work in the morning. But the only reason that I did it, I'm leaving on Friday to go pick up Preacher, so I couldn't do a live stream on Friday. But I am what I'm probably gonna do is do a new series where people can call me and ask training questions so that I can get more information from you guys, so I can really do a better job at answering these questions. All right.
What time is it?
What?
What time is it?
It's 9:47, so we got about 10 minutes.
Bro.
Yes, bake it again.
I have no idea what the best dog food is.
Dude, this is for the crust, bro. You're gonna have to wait for the pie to be
Yeah, Orion or Aries, Thor, those are all very, very common names. If it's one thing about me, I don't like to have a name that somebody else is gonna use.
We love to call you Mission Trouble. Yes, Trouble.
I wonder if that's a bit too close. Everybody used to think that Terrible's name was Trouble.
Yeah,
Everybody's
people
like,
used
oh,
to.
Trouble!
Thoughts on Dog Fritz? I don't.
Never heard of it.
8-week-old Corso growls when he's uncomfortable. A mean growl.
Growls
Not
when he's
playful.
uncomfortable. Mean growl, not playful. I don't know what you mean by uncomfortable, but if he's growling at you, don't let him. Correct that. Ruckus. I do like the name Ruckus.
I don't know if that would fit him, though.
Yeah, I've known a couple Havocs. The name Havoc is alright.
Gene, we think
Corso,
Preacher will
that's
be fine. Good age to introduce your puppy to a dog park.
Probably like I'll start taking mine pretty early, but like after they've had all their shots. But I don't let them play with all the other dogs and stuff like right off. Like I kind of let them watch and stuff because they can get hurt really easily, run over and stuff. But there's nothing wrong with like getting them out. And what I would suggest doing is going whenever there's not a lot of people. That's your best bet. Because usually those are the best dogs typically. Not like, I will say this, like don't go when there's no one there. There's just like a person, because sometimes it's the opposite. But go like on a weekday morning. Usually there's like people that work from home, things like that, and they're always up there, and so their dogs usually are not going to act that way. That's what I would do.
I guess I'll show you guys the pie right now, even though it's not done.
Well, there's her pie.
Because we're about to go off.
Yeah, we're going to go off.
In 10 minutes, which is actually kind of funny because I'm setting a timer for this small facility.
It doesn't look bad to me, Savannah. It really doesn't look bad to me. It's firming up anyway. That's how it is. You know that, right? That doesn't look bad to me at all. I mean, it's not
Perfect.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but you know, it's a pie made by a 13-year-old. So I'd say
I'll be 14
high five.
soon enough. Sugar.
You gotta start somewhere, sugar. As long as it tastes good, that's all that matters. Watch out, scoop.
Will an overly submissive dog cause aggression in another dog?
Yes, oftentimes it does. They will annoy the crap out of other dogs by constantly getting in their face and licking and stuff like that. It's you know, it's you know, it can definitely be annoying. He did great. Preacher is officially a champion, an AKC champion. Anything he does from now on, he has 5 more shows before I pick him up. In fact, the day I pick him up is his last show. And so he'll be working towards his grand championship, but I may not grand champion him.
This is for the devil.
But yeah, he's a champion now. He did it.
You did it. You're gonna try it? You just ate real dough. You just ate the dough. It's not gonna taste very good. I'm telling you that now. You shouldn't have just taken that much. You just.
Thank you, Sharon. Kangals. I like them. They look like good dogs. They're big.
It's actually not too bad.
Impressive.
Just gonna eat it.
They look like most of them have good structure from what I can see.
Just eat the dough from the.
I'm not very familiar with the temperament, but that would be what I would try to find out.
Ooh, one person wants to name their dog after Preacher.
Okay,
Go ahead.
go ahead. You have my blessing.
Have to roll it.
Wonder. No, I don't believe he'll be at the Westminster.
With the New York show?
No.
Preacher.
Kronos. Yeah, there's. So the thing is like because I'm a breeder, I know other breeders, and some of them have dogs that like most people have studs, and they're gonna choose like the best males, like studs. And Kronos is a guy has a dog by that name, and I wouldn't be able to name my dog that without people thinking, oh, she named her dog after my dog. So whatever, you know. Church would be a cool name. That is a good name. Church is a good name. I do like that. I'm gonna take you to church, boy.
I'm
I
gonna take
like
you
it.
to my dog.
That's a good one right there. That's a good one.
You want to see my dog church?
Let's see here. I have seen them used to guard flocks, and they've also been known to kill gray wolves. They can kill gray wolves in large groups. I've also seen Kangals destroyed by wolves, like decimated. So be careful. Oreo.
Can we see Preacher show anywhere?
Yes. Hopefully, I will be able to attend his last show.
She cannot.
I
I
want to try to get video. The problem is that I want to film the reunion between us, but the issue is that if Preacher smells me at the show, it very well could distract him and make him freak out, and I don't want to ruin his chances of
different
placing. Churchill is a really good name too.
Use a perfume, like a different perfume.
What?
Use very strong, different perfume.
Although I think I would want Churchill for
Yeah, Jesse, we've seen that many
for a
times.
bulldog.
Thanks. Northern Inuits?
I don't know. I didn't know that was a dog breed. I thought that was
Vulcan.
a people breed. Vulcan. That's an awesome name.
Yeah.
Vulcan is an awesome name.
That's good.
What is
That
it?
tastes good.
Yeah, is it? There we go. Live long and prosper.
I can do it.
I did it on a whim, full
dude,
of no
yeah.
stretching required.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you know my teacher told me I couldn't teach myself how to do this, and I wasn't
No,
able to do it
Rick.
before, and then I taught myself.
That won't happen.
Look at that, Mom. I can fly away with me.
Rick, I don't want my dog to get beat up.
You need a new trunk. Unfortunately, we cannot do that.
Let me see here. Strike is a good name. I
Not
like.
that, but you know.
Exactly.
Trunk you.
Same with dogos and cougars. Dogos can't kill adult cougars by themselves. Exactly. Yep, exactly.
Cougars are scary.
Well, you know, the truth is canines, like, you know, all canines, they work together in units for the most part. That's where their strength lies. So it would make sense that you would need more.
Ooh, Elisa.
Who, what, where, when.
I am new college student and using.
Lives on campus. How do I help my family with my dog who's using the bathroom all over the house? Yorkie Terrier. When I was there, was never a problem. Could be the dog freaking out. No, and being. You know how much I've eaten today?
Not
really
enough.
good. It's just not bad. Dude, you can't just eat it that way. No.
Thank you, Shay. I agree.
No, Trump here.
Let's keep it non-political.
Please.
It's just about dogs.
Not politics. Just like we wouldn't name Kashmir Hillary.
How to help her brush fear?
Slowly but surely. Just brush them. And if they try to bite it, you no. And
This
then you
crust is so
and
good.
then you brush it again. You gotta make them get used to it.
This crust.
You always want to use your energy. Like so many people have lost the knowledge of like how to use your energy. You know, most people live in these like sheltered lives. You know, you live in your family and you're taught to be good and you're taught to, you know, to not fight and to be passive and to all these things. And I was not raised that way. I was raised in foster care in group homes where it's like, you know, the pack rules, right? So that never occurred to me. And I was always well aware of how to use my energy. If you've ever lived in a poor neighborhood, you know what it is to use your energy. When you walk through somewhere, you don't want to look like a victim. So you've got to learn how to project your energy to get what you want out of a dog, to get them to recognize who's the boss. And it's not a matter of physical stuff. You should dog to get them to realize that you should be able to literally use your energy. And it you know, it takes time to learn how to do that. It takes training, it takes knowing yourself, but yeah. Seriously, rude. Get out of
Rachel.
the way.
So good.
Rachel, how do I get my Connie Corso to accept the
I love dinosaurs.
submissive position and
And
see it
Parasaurolophus is my
as
favorite.
a
Calm down. It's
and
fine.
see it as a reminder rather than play? He has a play biting habit.
What was that? Oh, that was terrifying. Did you not cuss, Mom?
Seriously, you saw that door.
Yeah, I know I did. And it
Get back away from the door, Savannah.
It's
That
just
was-
the wind.
Very scary. Are you sure?
I don't know.
Don't you open that door.
Sorry, guys. I don't. The door. They've got two doors, and one of them just like the one outside pushed inside and made us freak out.
Yeah, because we thought somebody could have been coming in or something. Because it has the noise of whenever somebody's opening our glass door. That's what I thought I heard. I thought I heard somebody opening our glass door. Oh,
Sorry.
the most terrifying thing ever.
Savannah, that's burning. You realize that, right? The smoke alarms are. They're
No,
on.
we turned it off first.
Oh my God, Savannah!
Shh! No! Move. No, it's not burning. You can see it.
All right, people. Savannah burnt the pie crust. It's official.
Ugh, God. It's not even burnt.
Yeah,
It's just the old stuff.
not even burnt.
It's the old
Not
stuff.
even burnt.
It's the old stuff. Ah, it's hot.
We're
Yeah,
good.
all right. That
Thank
was
you,
scary.
Shay. We're good.
That was
It was
frightening.
kind of creepy.
If we needed you to pull
My
over-
best guess of what happened is that the glass outside door was not shut, and the wind came and hit it and shut it, which forced open our door. Because that's what happened. Is it was a loud bang, and then our front door actually opened. So it had to have been from the pressure from the air from the other door shutting, but it was still scary.
Door flew open because the crust is burning.
The crust is burning! Ow! Oh, it's hot.
No, we're not talking about no.
I don't think that counts as crust.
Place it on top.
Savannah, get that off there. That's disgusting.
No!
This is by far the worst
No!
cooking show
Yes.
I think I've ever seen.
Don't say it, Mom.
Look
Let's
at
just say people
look at
aren't
Cashmere
here
ready
for
to
the
throw some heat. What a good girl.
Good night,
Good night,
Tara.
Tara. All right. Well,
Yes, they were, Catherine.
I made it.
Yep, we're 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. All right, y'all.
What? You have to see it. You have to see it.
all right. We're gonna do
That's
it.
it.
We're gonna
I don't have any more.
One
we're
close
gonna
up.
do a close up of her pie
Savannah's pie.
that she majorly failed on.
Don't
All right.
Fail sauce.
Yeah, that's
All right, guys. That was awesome. We'll see y'all
Yeah, we'll see you guys
Later.
next time.
if I can figure out how to do this.
You can use the sticks and you can just.
All right, guys.
You can beat
Bye.
someone with that crust. Yeah.
Bye, Shay. You wanna? Okay, Shay wants to see.
Where
I'll
is
let her
she?
see Cashmere.
Cashmere.
Cashmere, come here. Hey, girl.
Turn on the
Hey. Hey.
No, I'm not going to eat that.
Please?
No.
Please?
Hey.
Why?
Because I'm not going to.
Mother.
No. Don't you call me mother.
Little chaos.
Savannah.
Bye, guys.
Don't call me Savannah.
You're banana.
Savannah.
Hey, baby,
Call me.
No, no, you're going to get that on me.
Mother.
Stop it. Don't call me that. No.